Hello, everybody, and welcome to the deepest dive on Metal Gear Solid Delta, otherwise known as Metal Gear Solid 3 from MinnMax. MinnMax is a place about games, friends getting better. I'm Ben Hansen, and I'm joined by the Snake Eater himself, Kyle Hilliard.
Hello, I'm here, eating snakes.
I'm joined by Charles Hart.
You can call me Snake.
And we're joined by Haley McLean.
I can't do a good snake impression.
You haven't even tried. Try this time around. Try it again.
Dog did you steal? That's not your dog.
This is my mom's dog.
See, I knew it. I knew it. You snuck into that house. Took that dog.
Don't you think that truly the greatest comment comes from one chock full of who says, I love the tone of this Metal Gear Solid. It's so silly and actually made me laugh several times. The part that got me the most during this chunk was the codec call you make with Paramedic near the attack dogs, where Paramedic says, a trained Great Dane can be more dangerous than a human opponent. Watch out for them. And Snake says, interesting. And Paramedic says, forget it, Snake. And Snake says, forget what? And Paramedic says, you were thinking about how they taste, weren't you? And Snake says, I wasn't thinking. Paramedic, don't lie to me. I can tell by the look on your face. Oh, Paramedic says, sorry, I read that wrong. Paramedic says, don't lie to me. I can tell by the look on your face. And Snake says, you can't see my face. Paramedic says, no, but I can imagine it. So Snake's thinking about eating dogs, which is the important thing to dive into because we have a ton of community comments about the middle.
Do it. That's half the crime.
We have a ton of community comments covering the middle section of Metal Gear Solid Delta. This is the deepest dive, the best, most thorough discussion about Metal Gear Solid Delta on the internet. If you're jumping into this one, be sure to not miss the first discussion where we covered everything in Virtuous Mission, the first kind of 2 hours of the game. This discussion is covering everything from the beginning of Operation Snake Eater up
and then 28 million hours.
28 million hours up through the Sorrow boss fight. And we're not spoiling anything beyond the Sorrow boss fight because Charles and Haley have never played this game before, so we're keeping it all fresh. Thanks everybody for agreeing to that in the comments and all these things. We have so much to get through. It's just a lovely time here. We have a bunch of comments that we collected via Patreon. We sent out a Patreon post that, hey, let us know what we missed. Send us your fun facts, your little details for this whole section of the game. So we have a ton of comments over there. What do you all think is the most common comment?
I forgot this question was coming because we didn't have it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Eva's boob getting grabbed a lot more all the time.
Okay, we're going Eva boob grab. Interesting.
Eva boob grab question mark?
Yeah, it's just so normal for games that it doesn't even like pop up for a lot of people, I think. So not a single person mentioned it.
It's very normal in this game.
I know. You would be surprised how many private parts get grabbed in all the Metal Gear games. Male, female, like it's
Everyone
a theme.
seems to know everybody by their genitalia and breasts in this universe, and they can't just look at your face and be like, I know you.
Well, facial blindness is a scourge across the world and throughout time, Haley, and there's only one way around it, apparently.
Can I
ask fondling, clearly.
As I continue to consider most asked question, can I at least ask, are the folks watching, are there people playing it for the first time, or is it a lot of nostalgia heads?
Do you want us to sit and wait, you fucking maniac?
No, I want you to answer the question.
I thought you were asking Twitch chat.
It's like most of them are playing it for the first time. That would be a different, most common question than people love this game and they're playing it.
I think it's a lot of people coming back to it, believe it or not.
Okay, that's not surprising. Okay, that's what I assumed. Okay.
Yeah.
Chat right now live is saying a lot of first times and one watching Haley play, which is kind of like a first time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mine is that the Fury sucks. That's what whoa! I did not like that fight.
I'm sorry, we're shutting down the stream right now. We can't have this type of hypothetical slander happening, but no one said the Fury sucks. No one on earth ever.
That's insane.
Haley, do you got a guess?
I said ball fondling, but I'll come
ball
with
fondling.
it.
Okay, no, that's good.
No, that's a great guess.
That's a good guess.
Okay,
that's a good guess. Kyle?
I think maybe it's just like a lot of people having thoughts about the end, both in terms of like secrets surrounding him and playing him and revisiting him and stuff like that.
Very good. I think the end, strangely enough, is the biggest talker for the middle section of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Whoa.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's
got to be the first time I ever got it right.
I didn't think it was possible for you to ever get it right, Kyle. Congratulations. So thanks, everybody, for submitting comments over there on Patreon. We are collecting your comments for the third and final discussion next week. So if you want to help correct anything we get wrong in this discussion, a fun detail that we missed, or just for the ending of this game, you know, jump in and support this type of game club discussion and submit a comment for us to read during that grand finale discussion, go to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. And here's the thing. If you support us on Patreon before September 22nd, we will DM you on Patreon with a Steam code for Haunty. Haunty, just like the sorrow was haunting us in this game. So for Moonloop Games, it came out not too long ago. It's at a 90% rating on Steam. It's like an adventure-ish game set in the afterlife, but with like twin-stick shooting. It's a really funky hybrid, but truly one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen in my life. So you can support MinnMax on Patreon at any tier before September 22nd, and we will DM you a Steam code for Haunty. We have 200 Steam codes to give away.
Even the $2 tier, Ben?
Even the $2 tier, and you can submit a comment for us to read in the next discussion for just $2. If you think any of these game club discussions are worth $2, jump in, get a good game on Steam, and you can submit a comment.
Bar.
Exactly. 200 Steam codes to give away. We'll post on social media if we run out of Steam codes for Haunty, but we can jump right into this whole section here. And by the way, I should mention, if you jump in at that $5 tier on Patreon, you unlock the podcast version of all the Deepest Dives, including this one.
It's like 2 chocolate
in
bars.
a very convenient. It's not like 2 chocolate bars, which Snake would frickin' love to eat instead of just sucking on a glow cap mushroom to try and raise its batteries again. Type of maniac.
Disgusting.
Kyle, you really
Sick.
you rocked my world in the last discussion where you're like, you made some quick mention. I said to be like, yeah, about just like, you know, kicking the food to get it. Where for all food, like mushrooms and everything, I will take my knife out, awkwardly lean down, and then scrape it a couple times before I get that. So it's like, okay, just having that real quick is so convenient.
Wow, I still be crawling and slashing, so I should have remembered that Kyle said that.
It's nice.
It's because the first punch doesn't do it. So you're like, the third punch, there's no reason that would do it.
Yeah. But it's the magic. You gotta go through the whole process here. But
I mean, it's animals too, snakes. You know, you just kick them.
Yeah, just kick the entire jungle.
I can't get the rats. The rats are so fast.
But they're so cute too. They're so fun. Swan Song writes in as well saying, hey, using the fork to automatically eat small animals when you stab them is such a gameplay choice.
That happened to me in a sewer. That was so funny.
I didn't know that,
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's
crazy. There's to this day, I mean, constantly I've still learned secrets about this freaking game.
I know. It is funny. Like, you know, Kyle and I played it back in the day. Kyle has played it again and again. I've going on like 20 years since the last time I played this game, but it is funny like how many of these like Easter eggs are kind of just baked into my soul still. Like, well, of course you can do that in this game. It's like, because it was just so impactful back in the day, like all little details. No one wrote in about this, which is wild to me, but do you all know about, you know, when you're eating and you have the visualizer of Snake in the middle there, and you can rotate him? Did you know that if you spin him a bunch that he'll puke?
Someone mentioned that to me, but then I forgot to test it.
What?
Yeah.
If you get, it'll heal a stomach ache too.
Yeah,
Really?
so if he has like food poisoning,
that's
you can just make him puke by spinning him with the analog stick.
Just in the menu there when he's just standing there?
When you have the 3D model that you can turn around, you can just spin him. You have to do it a little while, but after you go on pause, he'll throw up, and it'll heal your stomach aches too, which is fun.
It's everything you need. Charles, first timer, first time, huh? Middle section of Metal Gear Solid Delta. How's it sitting with you?
I freaking love this game now.
Whoa!
I was kind of hesitant at the start. I wasn't like a huge fan of some of the storytelling stuff, and I don't know, the game hadn't really started. So then I was here and I was like, I was on vacation and I came back and I had like 2 days to play through the section. So I had a day where I was just like, all I was doing is playing this game. And then I was like, shoot. And then we ended up delaying the deepest dive. And I was like, oh, shoot, I just want to play more Metal Gear Solid, but I can't do that because I got to wait another week to do the next episode. It's fun. That's the thing about it. Everyone always talks about the story and all that stuff, but it's very fun. the moment gameplay. Yeah,
it's nice how that works. And like, it was interesting how the last section, it was so short and we could not believe how little gameplay there was in the whole opening missions. But now it's like you really get a sense of it. And going back to it, it is so nice just to have that feeling and memory of like, you know, there's advantages obviously of having this if it was one big seamless jungle, but there is such a little charm to having the loading screens between all these different areas and just having like a specific vibe, or almost like, to call it a puzzle is too much, right? But just like, okay, this is the section with the electrified fence. This is the section with the mines. I guess those are the same ones. But just having like these bite-sized, like, this is the challenge here. This is the challenge here. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's so comforting to slowly move through these things and have everything feel so bite-sized and different, I guess.
I am liking it a lot. Like, it's kind of one of those things that you just only get it by playing it. Like, if I were to just like step into this halfway, and I'd be like, I don't want to play this. This is weird. But then the more you play it, the more you're like, oh, I love him. Ocelot, you're such a little bastard. Like, it is very charming in that way. It's so silly. I can't believe there's people who double down on like, this game is not a silly game. This is the silliest game I've ever played.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't see how you could ever not think that, because it's just, I truly have to pause it sometimes and just go, what the hell? Like, what is this game? Mostly during cutscene stuff. Like, all the silliness that happens in gameplay is very rewarding and fun, because, you know, you get very used to playing games that are conscious of what percentage of players will see this. Let's put the most fun stuff where the highest percentage of people will see it. And then let's, you know, if we have to die down some stuff, we'll die down like this latter half stuff. But then they'll have like a bespoke Easter egg that's a game inside a game that's like just 99.9% of people will miss it. I would have missed it unless chat was like, no, Haley, please do this one thing. I promise it's really good. It's
right.
been an awesome
the nightmare
game.
Is that what you're talking about, Haley?
Yes, the nightmare, which we can save until we get closer to that maybe. But what a good game to stream, because I said to chat, I was like, tell me hints so I get to see Easter eggs. I don't care at all. Like, don't say what the Easter egg's going to be, but be like, Haley, you should save and close out and reload, and I'll just do what they were telling me.
That's a perfect way. Yeah. I actually, it's funny, Haley, I played Ghost Babel that way many years ago, the Game Boy Color Metal Gear game. I was like, help me play this thing, but like, don't spoil anything, you know, to chat. And it was like, Metal Gear's great for that, you know? Yeah,
it's the perfect way to play it, because I get to see what happens completely naturally, but still not skip out on it and just watch it in YouTube. Like, it always hits different when you get to actually play it and be like, what the hell? And like, see, and then I always think it's just going to be something like Snake has a silly mask on, but it's always something way more bespoke and like insane. And I'm just like, I'm getting more used to it because I play so much Death Stranding, and that, you know, style of game development is seen throughout Kojima's other work. Like, he loves just, what if on your birthday the world exploded? Or, you know, I don't know, like, just like weird stuff like that. And so that's been very fun. I'm just kind of feeling like anything could happen. Having an underlying sense of anything could be real and something weird could happen in any moment is a very fun underline to have in your game. But all the boob grabbing and ball grabbing and stuff is so weird.
Holy cow. I really forgot about the extent of the boobiness with Ava when she
press
shows
R1
up.
For boobs.
But it's
was like, press R1.
That was crazy.
You gotta do it. But specifically, it's like, look, we understand gaming in 2004. We were there. We know how cool it was, totally. But like, when it's still, you're being attacked by the Ocelot unit and Snake is like under threat, and there's the R1 option, and it's just honed in on her breast, and you can't even look away. It is like, it is not an option. If Snake, as the world is collapsing around him, he is only
right
zooming in. Yeah, I know, zooming in on these boobs over and over and over again. Or he's like looking at her scars, and the sexy saxophone music will start playing. There's just so much happening here.
But what's so funny to me is she gives pick me. He doesn't want her. It's like such a weird angle to take.
That's like my favorite trope of like Snake in these games is he like like with women is so like disinterested. He's like so focused on the mission. And I feel like there's so many instances of people like just throwing themselves at him. And I think the thing that strikes me about R1 to boob is like...
It's a good game.
That's truly what it is.
It's kind of out of character for him. Like he would never. He's so focused on the enemies or whatever. So the fact that it's like it's almost, it feels very 2004 in that it's like, hey player, I know you like boobs more than Snake does, so I'm going to give this option for you.
Well, look, welcome to the middle section of Metal Gear Solid Delta, where all you can talk about is Naked Snake's sexuality, because it is fascinating, because even the section opens with him being like, you know, it's 1 week later, he's being sent back into Russia to go back on the Snake Eater mission now, which, by the way, I forgot, there is a reason it's called a Snake Eater, because he's consuming the Cobra unit. It's like, oh, okay, that does make sense. I completely forgot about that.
Because he just eats snakes off the dirty ground.
I mean, it works on multiple layers. It's like Rainbow Connection, Haley.
It's like Rainbow Connection.
Yeah. But specifically then, when he's talking to Paramedic, and he's like, oh, so I was passed out, so you saw me naked, huh? Like, and he likes to be flirty over the radio, but I just see it as
Yeah,
He doesn't have the balls when it's in person.
That's exactly it.
He's like a teenager. He's like Jonah Hill in Superbad or something, where he's like, wants to flirt, but once he's actually like in the position, he's like, well, I don't know what to do with this. Are you kidding me?
Now, what's your read on it? Do you think it is he's scared of boobies and kissing, Kyle? Or do you think it's that he's like so focused on the mission that like the boss trained him that like if any woman ever tries to kiss your lips, you need to stand there like a statue?
I mean, genuinely, it's the mission. I mean, it's like he has loyalty to the mission. I mean, this is a theme that will come up.
I think he's a little gay,
over the course of the game, more and more. Like, but it's also, I mean, it's a tick in the Metal Gear is just anime, you guys, box, because that is such a trope for anime is the asexual protagonist. Goku and Luffy like don't even know what women are, but like they, but they're like that's anime, man.
But but Goku isn't going over the intercom being like, Bulma, I want to make sweet love to you. Like that's the disconnect of Naked Snake, at least in this section, right?
Yeah.
So Sly Cut.
I really think if you want to like dig into the sort of like why he is that way, it's because it's his loyalty to the mission. He has to complete this mission, and he can have a little phone call here and there, and he can sneak a peek. Right. But it's like he's got to complete the mission.
Hang on.
I honestly think it's Kojima wants to think about boobs and talk about boobs. And you can't look at them on a phone call, but you can talk, and you can look at them in person, so you can look. That's what's happening. That Kojima's just like, our boobs
see him drawing
awesome.
that on the whiteboard, pointing, circling things.
Exactly. And like, not you. It's paused. My gameplay's on the screen. That's when I paused because I was aghast that Ocelot was grabbing Eva's boob in the middle of a knife.
That's how he knew that she was a female soldier. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't tell by like looking at her or something. You have to grab her boob. That's how you like say hi to women normally. Cool. It's just so funny to me because it's like I was saying this kind of during my stream. It's like, why does Kojima want us all to have a boner while we play this? Like, why does he think that's an element of the game that should? Because there's like the hot model posters. You can put the porn meg on the ground, and there's nudity there, and also Eva's insanely hot, and she's always zipping up and down. Hour one to boobs. Like, why does he think that's clearly something that he likes to put in his early games? So like, I'm wondering why.
It's only because, and this is this entire section too. It feels like a cartoon caricature of sexuality, but it's because Kojima's upbringing is so much of just movies from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And you can't consume Hollywood action movies or really any Hollywood from the 60s, 70s, 80s without it just being just tarnished with a lot of misogyny and a lot of just power over women. And so in his mind, thinking like, well, action hero like Snake is, I guess part of that is he has to say he wants to F all the time. But then the extra twist is just the oddity of him refusing to go to Plowtown with Ava during this section of the game.
She's begging.
She's begging.
Like, you. He just turns around. And the other weird thing she said, just it's completely tangent, because I was like, what the hell? She goes, who's the boss to you? Like your mom? He's like, kinda. She's like, have you made love? I'm like, well, that's a crazy thing to follow up the question of, is she your mom? Yes, she is. Have you effed her?
She's trying to get in his head. She's trying to mess him up.
She heard him answer and then went, so you probably have slept with her. I'm like, what's happening in this world? That's crazy insinuation to make.
Real quick, by the way, I just want to throw this out there because I'll forget it later. But Haley, you mentioned that there's posters of models everywhere. Mm-hmm. Apparently, what they did for those posters for Delta is they got in touch with the models who appeared in the original game and got updated photos for them. Mm-hmm. Which is wild. So there'll be like, in the PS2 version, you'll see one photo of a model, but in Delta, like it'll be the model 20 years older, like holding their child, and stuff like that, which is like
women
wild.
Are
they
people
went through the
now.
trouble. I know, but it's just wild that they went through the trouble of like finding all those people to just update the poster.
I think it's really cool.
When I was playing,
I think it's really cool.
I thought that was nice. That was probably the most like whenever someone new came in the chat in my stream, they'd be like, "Did you know the posters of the models are
they did. Okay.
the same?"
So
it
wasn't as
but it seems like
that was news to me.
More excited, the most excited about that was done. It's like one of the new elements besides the fact that this is all facelifted. Like that was one of the few things. It's like that's completely new. Look, the models are back, but they're in their 40s now.
Now, chat, light me up if I'm the pig here. I heard that and I was like, that's a cool fact. I wanted them to like look old. they all still look like 20-year-olds. I don't know if it's just like Photoshop
They're
or
models.
makeup or I thought it was a cool idea. If you told me that like they got modern pictures of those models, you'd be like, cool. I want them like sitting in a rocking chair without makeup on.
They aged like 50 years instead.
But they
of
look
20.
like 17 and they're supposedly like 50-year-olds. Like I'm just saying, I thought it was cool. I wish they embraced age more, a little bit more. You know,
You want them to look worse.
Yes, I wanted them to look worse. If you want to
Such an insane thing to want.
look worse or more real, shall I say?
What if they just look like that and they're aging gracefully?
Then God bless every one of them. Sly Cut, by the way, did write in on Patreon to say one of the best radio calls is during the virtuous mission when you call the boss while having the book equipped. The book. She chastises Snake for reading magazines like that and says, "Didn't I teach you how to take care of business without having to rely on that sort of thing?" So their extensive training apparently was about.
Who says that?
The boss says that.
boss?
Yeah.
The boss?
So Snake's
Oh
like,
my
yeah.
God.
His mom lover.
His mom, who he loves,
That's real.
quote unquote.
Yeah, and people are saying, that it's like it's all so inspired by James Bond, and James Bond is always so flirtatious that like I guess that has to be part of it. But even like Solid Snake is very flirty with like Mei Ling and stuff, you know, in an odd way.
The first game he is.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so much Bond in this. Even that phone call with Major Zero, where it comes through.
Special interest. He's like, "Did you guys talk about James Bond? I want to talk about that for 15 minutes."
Exactly. He's like, I think James Bond, these gadgets are really cool.
That was
Like,
really good.
I can make you like an explosive that's shaped like a snake. Wouldn't that be sweet? And then he'll have his other call in this section too, where he's like, this is just classic Kojima. I'm just like, hey, by the way, I want to change my name because I got the name of the tunnel wrong from Great Escape. I thought they escaped in this one. That's why I want to name myself Major Tom, but it's actually the Harry Tunnel. So if we could just go ahead and change it and you can just call me Major Zero, then it's like they spend so much time explaining how he remembered the wrong tunnel in the Great Escape. And I cannot think of a reason why that's important to put in the mainline codec calls.
I think it's because he dreamed it one time, and it's like how he does it. It's like, that was in my dream I liked. Put it in.
It is like a particularly like I don't know. It's like allergic to subtext in a way where he's like, I actually can't let anyone misinterpret this. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. But I love that he doesn't even pick a different name from that movie, is it?
Right.
Then he just goes to Major Zero afterwards. It's good.
Right. And they do like this little line too where he's like, all right, let's go back to square one. He's like, well, square zero, which is a little cheeky nod to some overwritten scenes perhaps later in the series. So we're back. I love the framing of this. I forgot how funny it is, just like how brutally difficult it is apparently just to get into the jungle, to get back into the Soviet Union. Like it just seems brutal for like, you're in that crazy plane sequence, this whole thing's coming crashing down. It seems brutal, but it's like the big setup of like, okay, we got to send you back in. We need you to take out the boss to stop World War III. To stop Soviet Union and the United States from colliding in this, catastrophic way here. And then it's like, Volgan, we can't tell you to kill him, but you know what to do. I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying it. He's probably taking him out too, right? But it's just such a cool framing, I think, for this entire section is to be like, all right, the ultimate goal is find the boss and kill her, I guess. And it's like this harrowing sequence where he lands, gets it, and then right there, immediately, it's the boss on a horse just being like, you idiot. And she just kicks his ass again. Like, in what other game is it like built up to this is gonna be the big quest, and then it's just like, bam, right in your face, and just a reminder of her being like, I will kill you if I see you again. I'm going to use my horse to break your hand, and I'm going to run away, buddy.
Oh my God, that gasp when she stomped on his hand with the horse hoof. You know how much that it would break he wouldn't be able to hold a gun after that. I saw the horse.
You just go to the menu and just you press some buttons. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you use the knife to extract horse hoof from your hand.
There's a horse.
A horseshoe's lodged in your brain. Flick it out with a knife.
Haley, I'm just making an assumption here, but did you ever watch New Girl? That show New Girl?
I love New Girl, yeah.
Okay, you know that scene where Nick is like, that woman's yelling at him in a different language, and he's like, stop being so mean to me, or I swear to God, I'm going to fall in love with you. Every time Snake meets the boss, that I think of Nick yelling at that woman. Stop being so mean to me, or I swear to God, I'm going to fall in love with you.
I know. I love the undertone of just like everyone doesn't think he can do it, and neither do I.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, here's your big mission. You got to kill your mom. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And then it like shifts around uncomfortably. I'm like, you can't do it. You're just having to say you can until you figure it out on the go. And then, being confronted immediately with mommy. And then he's just like, duh! And then she just beats his ass and it's over. And she runs away. I'm like, that's
Dismantles his
embarrassing.
gun. That's her favorite.
She loves
move.
doing
It's
that.
so good.
And I love it. I love her for it.
But it's also like,
Yeah.
it's so much pressure and no one thinks he can do it. But then also if he doesn't do it, it's World War III. And then it's like, they say, if you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed waiting for the firing squad. It's like, we will murder you.
Yeah, that's a crazy line.
Yeah, paramedic will lose her license. Everything's going to hell if you can't do this.
I want to talk about the paramedic thing because that's crazy. If this mission fails, you lose your medical license. Not really clear what like malpractice because she's not even there. And then in a codec call right after that, she's like, she says the words, "I really don't care about my medical license." So she's like, "Oh, I just volunteered. I want to do this anyways." So it's like, for some reason, they needed to come up with like a punishment for her. And it was the medical license. She's like, I volunteered, so I'm fine either way. But
Because the biggest threat to a woman is losing economic stability.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, and also like,
Financial freedom.
Yes.
what medical like does she have a practice back home? Like, what used to
She's
her as
an
a medical
internist.
license?
Yeah.
Paramedic
Orthopedist,
Inc.
you know.
Yeah. And if the mission fails, Sigint, he'll lose his hat. They'll take it right off his head. They'll kick it out the window. I don't know what punishment will be for Sigint.
That would be his punishment.
Do we get more of Sigint?
I like Sigint.
What an awesome question, Charles. Yes, but not in the way you think. I'll say I'm going to talk about it a lot next. Sigint is quietly, I think, an interesting character in the grand scheme of things.
Because I made a point to keep calling him because I'm like, this guy's not talking to me at all. I feel like I'm not getting enough of him. He doesn't seem very plot relevant.
He's
Like
aloof.
other characters will like have reasons, or like I'll be in an area and I'm like, I don't know what to do here, and I'll call the major, I'll call Eva, I'll call paramedic, and then I'll call him, and he's like, you know that submachine gun you've got. Oh, that's the other thing. He's like, I'm the utmost expert on weapons and technology. And every weapon and piece of technology you present with him, he regards with utter shock and amazement. Where he's like, whoa, so this can track people? That's so interesting. Well, this is infrared goggles? I didn't even think we had the technology for that yet.
Did you get the nightmare sequence, Charles?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, we'll talk about that when we get to it, but that's maybe Sigint's most memorable element of Metal Gear Solid 3 is talking to him after you have the nightmare.
Oh no.
I was fascinated by Sigint in this run where there's one time where it's like they're all just talking in a cool group codec call. Then Sigint comes in, flying in, and he's like, yo, yo. I was like, yo, in 1964? Are people saying yo? So I was trying to Google it, and trying to start, when was the history of yo? And it's like, well, pirates said yo ho. I'm like, well, that's not really what I mean. It's tough to track about.
Sigint, man. It was Sigint.
That's his greatest marketing legacy of Metal Gear is he invented saying yo in a casual kind of way over codec calls, I guess. So I am Magnus. By the way, in the primer for this, the whole mission is like, all right, you're going to go and land, and there are two code breakers who defected to the Soviet Union, and they're your points of contact, and it's Adam and Ava. And Adam supposedly has infiltrated Volgan's ranks, and Ava, you gotta go meet these folks. So that's like the first point of contact here. But
Adam is Ocelot, isn't he?
I am Magnus writes in that says, so what's with the boss having a horse in the middle of the jungle? The boss just rides a horse through the jungle. She's freaking cool. What do you want?
I thought I could ride the horse. I got so excited. I heard it whinny through the grass, and I ran, and I said out loud in the stream, you can check, I said, Ben, if you had just told me I could ride a horse in this, I would have played it sooner. And then she stomped on me and ran away with the horse, and I was really upset. I had to hoof it through the rest of
Gotta save it for Metal Gear 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the horse.
That's the most misogynistic thing I think this game did so far, Haley, is present a horse and not let you ride it. Yeah.
It never assumed a horse girl would ever play this game.
Yeah.
That's its first mistake.
Here's a horse. You can eat it. Oh.
Yum.
Kath says, I only watched Haley play on stream, but I gotta ask, is this the most repetitive game of all time? I think we gotta explain the quest like 4 different times.
I was upset that the first mission after the main thing was backtracking to the same place I already was. I didn't love that.
I hear you. It doesn't feel too repetitive. It feels like, oh, I'm back at the bridge again. Like, it was like 3 screens, you know. So let me defend everything.
I know.
This game's
So
ever
why don't we
done,
come
Haley.
up with 3 more screens?
But I do like there's the little bit of backtracking you
Three
do
new
in this game
screens.
too. I think it's nice of like, okay, when you go into a building at night, then you come back out and it's daytime. So like if you do have to go back through some environments, like, it's nice that it changes up kind of the vibe and the look a little bit.
You have
but-
to admit that this game is awful now because you won't say anything bad.
No, I won't. But on the repeating thing, it makes me laugh so much, and it happens so much throughout Metal Gear. But like specifically in the scene with the drunk Russian who designed Metal Gear, like him.
I know his name. Alexander Granin.
Granin, thank you.
Alexander something Verkostov Granin.
That's right. And you can spell out his name, Kyle. It goes. He is the AL. Yes, AN. Come on, take it away.
Sorry, I was reading about Sigint because I forgot about his ramifications for the rest of the series.
You
and I
fool.
got my mind blown.
But him just explaining that idea over and over again of like, you see, I think the next generation of tanks need these puppies, legs. If tanks had legs, they'd be unstoppable. It's like, okay, got it. And then it's like round 4 of like, because the other thing is the other reason why tanks need legs. Like, yeah, I got it. Tanks need legs. We can move on here, buddy. Just
We'll learn about this later, or maybe I've already seen it. We'll see.
This guy's
Did you talk to
crocked.
Sigint after he explained that? Because Sigint's just like, that's actually the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He goes, if they had legs, they'd be so much easier to take down. That's absolutely asinine. I can't believe that was a suggestion. Or something like that. I'm like, that's really funny.
Yeah, I do love that kind of like internal power struggle of like, okay, you got Sokolov pushing the Shagohod, and then Ganon, what's his name?
Granin.
Granin.
Ganon's
Thank
from
you.
Zelda.
Granendorf, how he's pushing the Metal Gear. But it's such a fun like little slide across the table where he's like, well, they rejected my design, so I called up my best buddy, this Otacon looking fella from the United States, and I gave him all of my plans. Like, okay, sure. I forgot that it all comes from technically this drunk dude who later gets freaking destroyed in a barrel.
Oh my God.
Really
What kind of
brutal,
torture
eh?
method was that? Get in the barrel. I'm going to punch it till you tell me the truth. It's like the weirdest way to
She's
torture.
become liquid.
Stuff like that is like
the snake.
to me the funniest parts of the game, where something so crazy is happening and it's so crazy a reason where he's just punching a barrel and I'm like, that's weird, and then there's a guy inside of it the whole time. Like, that's a microcosm of the Metal Gear Solid experience to me.
Yeah.
Is someone punching a barrel but there was a guy inside the whole time.
And then that's what pops Ocelot, where he's like, wait a minute. Torture is like the greatest art form. It's like, it's better than Mozart. I had never noticed it before, but punching a guy in a barrel, this is beautiful.
This is better than grabbing a tit. This can really
I
results.
thought, yeah, I thought assault was art, but this, my God.
I've been doing psychological torture this whole time.
Like caressing your boob. Let's get you to tell me things. I'll just punch a barrel.
I would not mind Ocelot grabbing the boob if he grabbed a lot more people's chests. I think that's the thing. Is he
Right? Make it
he
even.
seems to already know, but if he's just like confronting people in the jungle and trying to grab them, it's like, well, that's fine, whatever. This is just a thing he does.
That's just
weird.
he happens to do that to all genders. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I had to get that off my chest.
So I think, yeah, maybe it's like that's.
To let him grab it.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's going off his smell a little bit. Like he's able to connect a lot of dots with him. See, like he
yeah,
smells.
he could also just smell.
Yeah.
he already has
could
that
just
superpower.
Right.
He could also just, like turn and face the person and look at them with his eyeballs because he's not blind. But that'd be a bit too crazy.
Squint a little bit, you know?
Use every other sense besides sight to figure out who a person is.
Hazard says, I feel a bit silly, but I had to Google. This is when I love this scene. Right when Snake crashes in the beginning, and then the boss just unloads her gun on his plane. Like, get the hell out of here. So Hazard says, I feel a bit silly, but I had to Google whether a gun actually existed that caused the bullets to somersault through the air before hitting their target because they go in slow motion in that sequence. It turns out Kojima is just being a little extra when it comes to the boss. I was very confused by that too. Do you remember that? Like the guns, like the bullets, it looks amazing in a way that only the boss can shoot.
But I didn't know enough about bullets to be like, is that real?
Yeah.
Kind of like, wow.
I mean, Kojima is like really into like guns, like just the design of guns, and like he always wants real guns, and characters talk about the details of all the guns all the time. So it's like I almost kind of assume that's a real thing, even though I'm sure it wasn't. Right? I don't know.
Right after that, Snake gets like his custom gun, and he's like drooling over it and talking like Eva
Yes.
gives it to him. That's like that to me. I was like, oh, he likes real guns. He doesn't just like video game guns.
Ramen Doodle's art writes in and says, I think one thing I really appreciate playing Metal Gear Solid 3 is how often I miss this style of storytelling. That is something more akin to an 80s action style of storytelling where the rules of cool supersede all. Yeah, that's why a motorcycle can do a flip off of Ocelot's dirty face. Yeah. You just take the wacky stuff as is, gets a compelling classic spy movie with an anime coding. Also, is just me, or is Snake the best badass representation for those of us with a bit of the tism? His hyperfixation on survival and weapons technology and a flirting game of a doormat. It's, just because he really likes guns and those little details, I don't know if we can diagnose a man.
He's never.
I can see him as sorry to go back to R1 to Boob. I know we're trying to leave it in the past, but I can see him being like, why are these out? Like, that's the fascination there of like, why don't you have armor? I can't believe you're talking to me and looking like this. You just you actively unzipped it in front. It's not like you forgot to get it all the way up. I like that read on Snake.
But especially, here's the odd thing about Snake too, is like, later on when he's like, looking at her scars and stuff, and she wants to she's like, take your shirt off, let me see your scars. She's like, no. He's so weird about taking his shirt off, but it's like,
he's also so ripped and hot, he'd be fine.
I think he'd be fine. Look, I don't think she'd kick him out of bed for eating crackers, certainly. But at the same time, I've played 90% of this game with his shirt off. So it's so funny that suddenly he's like, don't. It makes me laugh because whenever it's like recommended
camo. Could you
even
get in that cutscene without a shirt on, maybe?
Oh, that's a good question.
Just grabs whatever.
Yeah, he just quickly puts like a parka on or something.
Don't look at me.
But it is like whenever it is recommending which, camo is the most helpful in these scenarios, I feel like most of the time it's like, just go shirtless. It looks cool.
Naked Snake It.
Yeah, Naked Snake It. It's his freaking name, guys.
That was the original subtitle.
Just freaking Naked Snake It.
Naked Snake It.
My dog is hip, can't get over the boss, saying, damn, the boss's costume design oozes cool. Iconic, not sexualized, cool. Fits the Cold War vibe perfectly with what looks like R&D material from the 60s NASA, and I love the implication that she's stealthed around in this silver suit since World War II without anyone detecting her. She's just that good. Yeah.
It's a flex, yeah.
In other parts of Russia would be extremely good camouflage. We're just not... Are we in Russia? Yeah, we're in Russia. It's not snowy here.
Right. If it was snowy, it would definitely help her out in a big way. I do love that Khrushchev knows the boss and he has that other name for her. And in that conversation then with President Johnson, which is just surreal that they have that codec call between the two of them, or the phone call. That implication of okay, everyone knows that she is a legend, that they say something like she tipped the scales to win World War II. There's the secret code word for her in the Soviet Union even. She's just that freaking sweet. And it was always the dream after playing this of if we could get the World War II Metal Gear Solid, that's just the formation of the Cobra unit with young boss getting the entire Cobra unit together. Oh, that'd be so cool. But maybe
that'd be the thing to do after this remaster.
Maybe
if they wanted to do something original,
that's not gonna step on anything. Yeah.
What would you call that game, Ben?
If they just called it Metal Gear Solid,
Naked Snake It. It's available.
Metal Gear Cobra, Naked Snake It.
Yeah, Metal Gear Boss. That's kind of lame. Cobra,
because there's no Metal Gear, right? So it's it's part of the series, but it's about atomic bombs.
Well,
Metal Gear is kind of not really in this one either. I mean, sort of.
We saw pictures of it. Yeah, I mean, we got the there was plenty of Metal Gear in World War II. Eisenhower was loading a bunch of Metal Gear over there for D-Day.
They also could just make up an excuse for a Metal Gear to be in the game.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
To do that.
Let's see. Otaku Convention. Interesting name. They say, wait, Adam and Eva and Snake? Yeah. I mean, she makes some reference to it of aren't I tempting you, Snake?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it funny for Eva to
that
tempt
flew
the
over my head. I was too distracted. I can't remember why.
I don't know why.
Because you were busy holding down that R1 button your life depended on it.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't call her Eve. I'm ready to go Ava over Eve. Are they trying to just be less on the nose?
Probably a little less on the nose.
Yeah,
but they call her
also
Adam,
in Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's also the Eva units, but then there is the Adam is a thing that's separate. I don't know if that's a Japanese thing of the way they would pronounce Eve.
Maybe.
I'm making this up.
No, hey,
Good
I'll
theory.
take it. I'll take it. By the way, we talked about it last time about like, oh, remember the Alamo Davy Crockett connection. I forgot that in this, Sagan just walks you through that directly. And he's like, yeah, Davy Crockett, Rocket, Alamo. I forgot that they just laid all out there completely. But they meet up, you walk through a bunch of water and a bunch of leeches get on you and they make little kissy suction sounds. And I'm sure, Naked Snake hates getting kissed by Ava, but hates getting kissed by these leeches even more.
I think a little bit less. Oh,
Probably.
Charles's cat is being really cute.
Little ocelot buddy.
She just woke up and is meowing at me.
Aw.
All right, the road up to Ocelot. The first real boss fight, I guess, is going up against Ocelot himself across that little canyon. How are you feeling?
He has like a million other guys who could just shoot us, but he's like, no, don't. I want to do something silly.
Yeah, I want to
watch.
Oh God. Man. We were talking about the bees last time. I don't remember what the conversation was, but you were like, how do you fight bees? And
Yeah.
I was holding my tongue. I was like, well, obviously you spin revolvers around your finger
That's iconic.
like a fan, and then you can defeat as many bees as you need. God, that is just an absurd scene that I think when I played it in 2004, I thought was cool.
I still think it's cool.
Really do. But now I'm just like, I love this for a different reason now because it's so ridiculous, you know?
It is just so funny. I mean, just the amount that they show him spinning his guns, it is truly beyond the point of parody. Like, it just never ends with him spinning his guns. And then, of course, when the bees come out after the fight. And, like, I forgot that you get to see other people get stung by the hornets, and they're, like, dead
Brutally.
immediately.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games scene.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
this is the answer. You just got to spin your guns fast enough, and you can take care of thousands of them as they fall down in front of you.
Is it that brutal in the 2004 game?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember being like, whoa.
Basically 1-to-1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
yeah.
The textures,
I
aren't exactly
was
popping as
absolutely
much.
gagged at when you're fighting him, and like whenever he'd get down to like a third less health, he would stop and go, "Wow, this feels amazing to reload." Pause for 8 seconds. It feels so different than reloading a revolver. That's he's doing on screen now. Am I supposed to be Snake going, "Oh, T, he called T to reload his gun"? It's like that's what it felt like.
I won't
He's doing
shoot
it
the
right out
bees.
of the open, and like he's not even hiding behind a rock.
Yeah, it is.
That
It
just
is
really killed me.
It really stands out. Just like in all of these boss fights, I feel like it's like, okay, when are those moments where they just have complete invulnerability? Where are
you
these
shoot them with
bosses?
one bullet, and then the wall goes up.
Right.
Visible wall.
It's a lot of that. And like this Ocelot fight has never been my favorite. If there are huge defenders out there, I'd love to hear from you.
It's
Like,
always, every time I come upon it, every couple of years, I'm like, oh, right, you fight Ocelot here. Like, I always forget about it.
yeah, it is totally fine just to shoot at him from across the canyon for a while.
Knock
as he
down the
slowly-
hornets and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. You get a little preempt of the bees there and
Yeah.
whatnot. But Steve Bellegarde says it's so weird that the first time Ocelot reloads his guns, they make you watch the entire process. It's so obviously the best time to attack him, but you don't get the chance until the next time around. And then the bees come out. Ocelot runs away, of course, and then you jump down into the cave. And that is, of course, where Victor Pham writes it and says, after the boss fight, when you're down in the dark cave area, I originally did not know that you're supposed to use a cigar's light to help you navigate.
oh my god.
So I just jacked up the brightness instead on my TV.
I used the sonar thing to see where I was bumping into walls because I was so blind.
Yeah.
And someone said that you could pick up a torch that I missed. Is that
Yeah, I
something
found.
that
I
happened?
just.
I had a
I
torch,
just stumbled till I found the torch. Yeah.
I didn't have a torch. I just stumbled in the dark, and I also have my like Elgato face light on my whole face, so that like it makes it 10 times harder
Yeah.
to see.
Right.
And it was purely black. Like I was just in the dark stumbling. I was like, this isn't good content, but that's how I got through.
I do want to say, because this is a question I had after playing Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, as I was just curious about. So I had the infrared goggles at this point. I don't know where they are, but I remember that I
Oh my
had them
god,
already.
why didn't I wear those?
Yeah.
And it's not super helpful, Haley, for the record, because it's still, like, if I had night vision goggles, that would have worked, but it's still...
You do get night vision later. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have those now, but I was curious of, like, one of the things about, like, the Metal Gear Solid series is, like, there's so many, like, toys around. Like, there's, like, items you can get, and you can use them like every encounter for the rest of the game, but they feel very missable and they're not required, so it feels really special to get them. And I think, Kyle, when I played Metal Gear Solid 1 and that was happening, for some reason I was like, I understand why Kyle likes this, because it reminds me of like an Ocarina of Time or like a Majora's Mask, where like you're getting the dungeon item and you can use that in combat whenever you want, but it's kind of just like whether or not you want to, but you just have such like a arsenal of toys you can use all the time. All this is to say, can you miss the infrared goggles? Do they spawn somewhere else if you don't get them? Is everyone just like good enough at finding them?
No, I think
I think
are
Giant in our chat is saying you can get the night vision goggles before then too.
Yeah.
So, like,
okay.
So I think you can miss just about everything.
But I think the nice thing is you can run back to a lot of these places. So if you do miss something that you absolutely need, which it'll never hard choke you. It's a weird phrase. But like it'll be easier with some fights later on.
But how do you get out of the
things.
cave? Like if I had something pre-Ocelot fight, I can go back up there.
Oh yeah, I guess that is true.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how to backtrack for like within like an area you could,
for
like
the record, I think the night vision goggles are in the cave apparently.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I found a pair of night vision goggles in later in the base where you're dressed as a scientist. They were like out on a balcony, I think.
Oh,
Nico Giant says Eva gives you the thermal goggles if you don't have them at a certain point.
That's nice.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I love those thermal goggles. I love just how big and chunky and clunky. It just feels like
Virtual Boy.
Yeah, pre-Predator vision. I freaking love that thing. About the toys, those wonderful toys. I was thinking about it a lot.
We're doing Joker impressions too.
We're doing all the impressions. It's Metal Gear time. It's time to throw in all of your love for pop culture, just like Kojima does. Just cram it in. Find a spot for it. But it made me think about it because there's so many items that I never really mess with in this game that you pick up and it's like, oh, this would be fun to distract guards with this. I don't really need it. I can just trank them and move on. But you're really doing yourself a disservice if you don't mess around with this a little bit. And it made me think of just that old phrase that has been going around since 1998 of like, why doesn't Kojima just make a movie? You should just make a movie with all these cutscenes. But I was thinking about it like what these games are with the amount of little toys and gadgets and optional little things that you can use to get through these areas. It feels like Kojima is giving you the toys to make your own little movie. You know, it's like Metal Gear is just almost like a little movie maker of like, here's a bunch of fun ingredients. You can have a bunch of fun scenarios set up in this environment if you want to, or you could run through it and be boring and it's the most boring movie ever. But if you want to have this elaborate scene of soldiers slowly following a trail of porno mags over to your mousetraps, you can do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a fun idea.
That's why 5 is so good. Is like, I didn't know a single thing about Metal Gear lore. I just knew that was so fun to play around in.
Yep.
Like, oh, a big base with dudes all over the place. Like, you know, if I play Far Cry, if I play any other Ubisoft game, to be honest, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, more of this. But in that game, it was like, oh, hell yeah, let's try out 5 new things.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, three is like I feel like the it's like the first big lean into that to the point where like that I think it's the area right before Ocelot. It's like that big area. I think there's like a helicopter. You guys know what I'm talking about? And it's like there's like 3 or 4 buildings there.
Yep.
It's I remember replaying it kind of recently and being like, oh, this area feels like where 5 was like born from, because it's like really big and you kind of have your feet under you. Like I was like they kind of it almost feels like they took this and expanded that into like a much larger game by the time 5 rolled around.
Well, even then, I mean, I was thinking that a lot with like the Groznygrad section, where it's like this feels completely like Ground Zeroes. This just feels like the base in Ground Zeroes, like the scope of that and everything, you know? It feels like kind of a test bed running for all that. But you think you're alone in that cave, but lo and behold, a swarm of hornets come around and they say, we are the sons of the boss. And it turns out there's a fella named The Pain in there who shoots a bunch of bees at you. And the answer, Charles, Hornets. We were bouncing back and forth. Obviously, it's Hornets. And the answer again, Charles, other than spinning guns for how you fight a bee man, is you go under the water.
yeah. Bees can't swim.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Or hornets, either.
Hornets, please. These 2 boss fights, you know, I think if you ask gamers of a certain age, which game has the greatest boss fights of all time, I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is in that discussion. Now, I will say, going through and playing, especially these first 2 boss fights back to back, I was like, uh-oh. Like they're not the two best fights. You know, it's like they're not unbelievable. The pain is certainly charming.
So the thing to me that makes them feel weird is that we were talking about the toys and the like variety of stuff. And when I come to a boss fight, I'm sometimes frustrated because I have this wide arsenal of stuff and it wants me to find a very specific solution. And this one isn't that big of a deal, but there's some where it's like we'll talk about the sorrow, I assume, but that was one where I was like, what am I even supposed to do here? And like eventually I've put it together. And if I were to figure that out like organically, that would have been super, super cool.
Yeah.
But it's always frustrating when it's like, oh, you didn't use this item to make him, I don't know, undo his belt and then his pants drops. You smack him on his little butt and then he cries and goes home to his mom. You didn't do that, huh, Charles? That's stupid. And it's like, yeah.
You got to dig through all these different options. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of those little secrets that, again, are fun to talk about in junior high. And we're all blessed to still be in junior high where we can talk about all this stuff of like, okay, you got to get the hornets, by throwing smoke grenades.
Just call them bees. We all clearly want to bees.
Silk Song just came out. We should be saying hornet accidentally.
Yeah,
all the
you're
time.
right.
We're saying bees.
Should be happening all the time. Haley, how was your boss fight with the big old pain boy?
It's playing on the screen and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be seeing it again. I just like...
is it Haley's gameplay? Is that like what the stream?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna just put something Ben found on YouTube.
It's some schmuck on YouTube, yeah.
I do like trial and error, playing around with things. I'm pretty forgiving for like, oh, I died, let's just try it again. As long as it's quick enough to bring me back and it doesn't like do the Dark Souls thing of like run through 12 hallways and then fight him again. That pisses me off, but this game doesn't do that. But yeah, with this one, at least with the pain specifically, I definitely am liking each boss fight more than the last one. Like I didn't love this one. It kind of just felt like he's covered in bees, shoot him. And then like he would shoot bee bullets at me that were 8,000% stronger than anything I've ever encountered in my life. And so I would go under the water, but it only really stopped the bee bullet if I was behind a rock. So it kind of felt like I could only cheese this to win it. It wasn't like strategy or like I'm sure there's probably like 12 other spunky ways that you can tell me after PE later about how you did it. But I just personally feel like the only thing I could do was shoot him until his bee suit was gone and then shoot him one more time. And then he would go, oh, and then hide behind a rock for 45 seconds while he does bee bullet and then come up and do it again. So wasn't that rewarding?
I looked him up to see if we'll talk more about other bosses later, do have weird tricks and stuff like that. The pain really doesn't.
He's
like
not
you can
great.
throw. My strategy was throwing grenades at him, worked really well.
Yeah, I used grenades.
But like, yeah, you just kind of there's not much to him, and there's not really a lot of secrets or anything that I could find online. Kind of looking around a little bit.
Yeah, and this is then the first instance you see of the Cobra unit when they die. They yell out their name, and then. The part that always kills me is then they just freaking explode.
What is that?
Yeah, so is that explained or is that just a thing?
Charles, you told us not to tell you if things were ever explained, so I guess we'll just need to stay tuned.
Because
I think the answer is no.
Because the end made me so sad because he's about to have such a peaceful passing and he's like, wait, I'm a member of the Cobra unit, and then he explodes, and it was to the point that I think I wrote in my notes somewhere of like, wait, like the way he reacted, I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. Like these guys weren't gonna die, and Vulcan pressed the explode button on them or something.
It's like a Suicide Squad situation.
Something like this must be happening, but
who can say? Who can say that's happening? But imagine if they did that World War II game, and then every time you die, the boss just yells out, "The joy!" and then she explodes, and then that's her big scene instead of.
I just picture like me dying of old age in a hospital bed, and all my family's around me, and I'm like, "Haley, just explode!" and my family dies also from the residual explosion.
That's what happens to Link's grandpa in Link's Awakening as well. I believe he explodes when he dies.
Yeah, all the good ones.
I thought you said grandpa.
Chris L writes in, they say, one of the most interesting new features about the remake is the damage system, showing you each cut, burn, and gunshot wound your Snake has taken. Because of this, I found myself playing very cautiously, putting myself in Snake's shoes, and how I wouldn't want all this scarring on my own body. I was doing really good at keeping him scar-free up until the pain boss fight. My Snake now has multiple gnarly burn scars and bullet hornet wounds all along his torso and arms. Makes me fearful of what's yet to come. Is anyone else caring about the health of the little Snake model?
No.
I
like him a
haven't-
little scarred up.
Yeah,
not
tear him
gonna
up.
lie. Yeah.
Haley, don't say it like that.
I like to scar him up.
I haven't taken Snake's shirt off. I'm always
What is
going
wrong
like
with you?
I'm always going the leafy camo, or like there's one that's like a black and white spotted one or something I like. So I didn't know that was a thing, but I haven't taken a shirt off once. So
Oh.
that's a new feature.
This
I
feels
didn't
like you're
know about.
coping and you actually take it off all the time.
Yeah. I've never even seen his muscular back. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Chat could maybe correct me, but I think the way that the new camo system works, where you like it only like lets you pick from ones that you've tried out.
Yeah.
So like Ben, like the
Okay.
reason that like I think that it keeps pushing you to go shirtless is because like you probably haven't put on a lot of other camo yet, and that just
Yeah.
happens to be the highest percentage.
It
I
could
could
be.
be wrong about that.
Yeah. I've dug through a couple times. It always still says it's the
Definitely.
highest. And I'm sure I've missed a couple.
It's based on
'cause
where
there's-
you're standing too, because it
Well,
like
yeah.
moves when you're in a different.
Because there were a
grass.
couple
Is
of
that what-
occasions where I was like, surely this isn't the best camo I have. And then I went into the menu and it was like, oh, I do have some that are higher percentage. And then I would
Yeah.
equip them. And then they would show up in my quick select menu. So I don't know.
It is always
Do
so
you have
exciting.
to find that one? Like I don't think I've ever seen it as a. Well, never mind. I'll figure this out. Next time we play, I'll just be shirtless the whole time, and I'll give you my.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels
shirtless snake
it
too.
feels wrong to have to find less clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I
makes
just
sense.
it never. I never like
pretty sure
even
it's
hovered
just
over
there.
it.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it?
You're coping.
know.
You look at it every night.
I'm-
before
you
go to bed.
freaking love
Haley,
it.
to be honest, I think I tuned into your gameplay once or twice, like while you were streaming, because I wanted to
Yeah.
see where you were, and I was like, "Oh, Haley's doing some funny, thirsty playthrough where she keeps Snake's shirt off the whole time, because obviously the leafy one is the best option all the time." It like didn't even occur. Yeah, anyway.
Make mine leave. Well, it's so fun in this game though. Like when you get to new looking environments, because not only you get to see all that new art, but then it's like the double layer of like, oh, and now my snake gets to look different. I'm not in the jungle anymore. I'm up in like the
Yeah,
mountains. Now I get to wear my Choco Chip little uniform out there.
Chip.
It's my favorite, the little Choco. I love the
I love
Choco.
Choco.
I need the Choco. But I it's so funny. Like I was looking forward to conversations about the pain because obviously it's the strangest thing I would imagine Naked Snake has ever seen. Just a man shooting red hornets out of his mouth, and then you finish that
We
boss
can
fight.
form them into a machine gun, like an old gangster machine gun. Yeah.
Tommy guns.
So then,
Tommy
like,
gun, thank you.
when I call then everybody on the codec after the boss fight, they're all like, you get out of the cave by going to the entrance on the north. Everyone was just starting like, can I talk about the bee guy with anybody? It's like, you have to do it during the boss fight, I think, which I'm not thinking of because
What?
it's an action-packed
Who's
sequence.
gonna
So, like,
stop when there's bee guns and
I know.
call your dad and ask him about the bee gun? You're gonna run for your life.
yeah, but they never want
Oh.
to talk about it after the fact. It's very disappointing.
Kyle, I said it was a Tommy gun. That's a BB gun.
Oh,
Ho!
Good catch.
Oh my god. I was like, no,
Oh!
it wasn't in my head. And then I was like, oh, we made a joke.
He's really done.
made
And then
me- joke.
Also, so the boss trained all of this, the Cobra unit, right? Like that's. is that
she
the implication?
Came up
she
together was kind of
formed
what I
them. Yeah, I don't know if she
They're
like.
Okay.
baby boys.
She's not
They're
trained in the
baby
end,
boys.
you know.
I was just gonna say like, why are if I was Snake, I'd be like, how come all your other students have like superpowers and stuff?
I'd be jealous. Yeah,
I'm just a
that's true.
guy. I like this guy has super eyes and he dies and wakes up in order to kill me, and I just threw a Playboy down the hallway to hope to distract this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's his, it's his whole superpower. He just goes, I don't know if this, what this joke isn't working. The punchline was going to be, he's called the not interested, but that doesn't.
Wow.
In
Don't cut this out,
In Ava, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Don't
work.
cut
It
it
doesn't
out.
work.
He was
that.
jealous of the BB gun joke, so he was really
Yeah.
trying to come up
No,
with
guys,
something.
I think the not interested is really going to catch on as a joke.
I love when you're halfway through a joke and you don't like it.
It's
He just
It's
gave
really
up.
good.
Nope.
poo-poo. What I do like though, Haley, is
Yeah.
when you're in the cave after the bee fight, and there's this section of the cave that's just filled with items galore, and you run over
Yeah,
to it
that was nice.
excitedly.
Little
And
treats.
no, au contraire, because then that's your first mine exposure. Is they put a mine right next to all these items.
yeah.
So you run over there and it just blows up in your face.
I don't think that happened to me.
Ooh, you're very
Hey, look at
shrewd. You're very
me.
shrewd.
So-
Well done.
Haley, if you encountered a claymore on the ground in this game,
Yeah.
how do you avoid said claymore?
I've learned to crawl
Okay.
up to them. That took a bit of trial and error.
This was a big problem for me in Metal Gear Solid 1, where I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to not die in all these fields. And I don't know if they tell you you're supposed to army crawl over them, but that doesn't make any sense to me that would
tell you that.
Not kill you. But
is that how claymores work? If you're really small, they don't
it can't be, right? It can't be.
I don't know how claymores work. Are they like, oh, he's prone. Don't explode.
Well,
you can't knock a guy while he's down.
Can't kill a prone guy.
I think a claymore has like a motion sensor. Yeah.
The two lights.
That couldn't have been how it was in the 60s, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah, they wouldn't have got the lights on it yet. It probably would have just been like, if I feel a footstep in any movement, I explode. But then how would they leave it once they set it up? Can we get a claymore expert on the final episode?
Sigint. We need you, buddy.
Sigint. I probably should have just called him.
Yeah. But in this whole section is then where you get to see that cutscene with, now you get to see Volgan grabbing Ava and electrocuting her through her boobs.
That's right.
Remove her stockings.
Right.
That's
right.
right.
To kind of melt the stockings off, because he's a sadist. You see, as she explains later on.
Oh.
Okay. So where were you all at with understanding what I accidentally teased probably too much, that Sokolov's wife wasn't really Sokolov's wife in the helicopter? When did you realize that it was actually Ava there?
So stupid. I realized that was Ava at the end of this section.
Okay, because they don't
like after the torture scene.
Okay.
When she said, let's run through the tunnel, I went, oh my God, that's Eva. And chat absolutely roasted me. They go, how do you not know this at this point? Holy crap.
It is
weird. I felt so embarrassed.
You couldn't smell her.
I couldn't smell her.
You couldn't smell her.
I know what I'm talking about. You could just look at her, and I'm looking at her the whole game. I don't know it's her. That's a good point.
That's a full Clark Kent effect.
I literally said I support Clark Kent and the Hannah Montana wig, because I can't tell. I clearly can't tell the difference as soon as she put a little bit of a different outfit on and just slicked her hair back and had her boobs covered a bit more.
That was the real thing.
It is weird
that I didn't realize that was her.
I mean, it does phrase it in a weird way. It kind of just lets you slowly seep it in and feel. It's not like this big epiphany of like, and I am her. It's just like more and more references to her being like, I gotta get back in time. I gotta beat Ocelot back there. It's just like it feels like it's an odd reveal. And then even later, people are talking about Tatiana, and Snake kind of is in the dark. They're talking about like, oh, Tatiana installed that listening device, but it seems like he doesn't really fully connect. Like, I just want a tracker of like when Snake is aware of what is going on with Ava and Tatiana and all that confusing lineage.
I also don't understand who she's supposed. So she's Volgan's lover. That's the undercover story for her.
I don't know if that's true, actually.
Because someone said that though. Because Sokolov says that's not my wife. That's Volgan's lover.
Right. I think.
But then in the helicopter at the beginning of the game, Volgan's like, "Who's this chick?" And Ocelot's like, "I don't know. She's got lipstick or something. That's crazy that she's in this military helicopter with us."
Where a nuke is.
Yeah. I think the idea is they're trying to pass her off as Sokolov's lover, and Volgan's under the impression that he's stealing Sokolov's lover because he's like, Sokolov can't satisfy you like I can, like that type of cool guy stuff.
And I never understood.
That's really cool.
But Sokolov doesn't seem to like. Sokolov is still like, no, don't torture this person. He just thinks it's a random person.
Yeah, true. He has a torturing. But he's like, no, it's just a blonde woman he doesn't know.
Yeah,
and like I'd have the same reaction. I don't know. I guess, but I wouldn't. People's stockings off, but
he acted like it was his wife. Though.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's in on the plan, so to speak. I think.
Oh, that's the piece I was missing. So he knows that she's
and I'm not,
spy.
and I'm not even like trying to be like sneaky or whatever. I think that's what it, because it's kind of vague, you know.
Yeah.
I guess the confusing part is why doesn't he tell Snake that she's the spy?
Well, maybe
that's Volgan's lover.
This again, I'm not trying to be cheeky. I maybe we find out at the end of the game. Maybe there is a scene that I'm forgetting where they do talk about it in more in depth.
You should have known this at this moment. Yeah, just really map it all out for us.
It will either not be addressed or be heavily over-explained.
That's
my thing with Tatiana is like she has free reign to just like
her name's Tanya, by the way, not Tatiana.
Wait, really?
Okay.
Tanya.
I think it's Tatiana.
I think it's Tatiana.
He just yelled Tanya when she fell down the
stairs. I think someone calls her Tanya as like a nickname.
No one Google it.
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Yeah, it's Tatiana.
I'll Google it. But yeah, it's Tatiana.
Yeah.
Why are they calling her Tanya then? That's a whole different name. That's not a
hearing
shit.
things.
It's maybe a
That's not a
short.
Bob Robert
No,
thing.
Haley's correct. There is someone that refers to her as Tanya.
it's her
I
nickname,
like
I
that as a weird nickname. Just remove a syllable from the middle of someone's
Tatiana.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
It
it
removes,
works.
it removes the T.
Oh yeah, okay, you guys are right. Yeah, also known as Tanya. But I was confused why she's just like she can just kind of she's a prisoner, but she's not. But she could kind of disappear for hours at a time, and it's
They let her
fine, and-
leave? Yeah.
I was. That's one of the big like. I'm just gonna like not worry about that part of it and enjoy this game. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think about that too much.
Especially like when they're trying to find the rat, and it's like, who could it be? Is it the one mysterious person who's following you around? You know, it's like,
gone.
Who leaves for hours at a time?
right. But
I
it's,
do like the torture scene, just in terms of like
you sicko.
how is she coming and going. Like there's just everyone's in that room. Like she's just like a prisoner, and she can just walk in and observe.
Yeah.
Like every character in the game is there. They're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Or when they're
Poor
up on the
Snake.
cliff and she like drives in on her motorcycle extremely loudly and then just
Yeah,
walks up
yeah.
and stands there like she's been there the whole time and they're like, who's this rat? Like, probably her
way-
driving in on a
The
motorcycle.
way she rides that motorcycle is just like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just like an extension of her body. She just uses
Yeah.
it to like jump over buildings and stuff.
Yeah. Samus-esque, I would say.
Yeah.
You know that famous motorcycle driver, Kyle Samus?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about from Metroid.
Yeah, Kyle.
What happened?
Yeah. Famous motorcycle driver, Samus
From Metroid
Aran.
Prime 4 that we haven't played yet?
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond? Yeah, the famous motorcyclist? Samus
Yeah, okay.
Aran? Yeah. Should be Aran, more like a ride a bike.
A drove.
Anyway, the important thing is I Googled it, and Tanya is short for Tatiana. So
That makes sense.
Sean
I
Mills.
just don't think that's short. No. I just don't think that's short for Tatiana, you guys. How
Did you just
it's not
say
a Bob Robert.
No. Was
no.
that in response to Ben trying to change the subject?
I mean, also Naked
I
Snake.
do this sometimes to Ben during the podcast. I'll say, no, we're not done. How is Tanya short for Tatiana?
It's the same way Jack and John are the same name for Naked
Richard,
Snake here,
Dick,
you know? Yeah,
yeah.
come on.
oh,
It's-
Richard
well,
and
but
Dick
there's-
is the worst
there's-
one.
It would be
Who
like
said that?
if we shortened Benjamin to Benmin. Like you're taking
Yes.
out a syllable in
Yes.
the middle of the name,
Guys-
which I like. I think that adds some more
Benjamin-
variety. to
Executive
names.
decision. I'm sorry. I think this is the least interesting thing about Metal Gear Solid 3.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
important to me.
It is truly not. I'm going to go into your brain and convince you that it's not. Sean Mills writes in and says, when you get to the warehouse, there's a cutscene where Ocelot approaches Sokolov and plays Russian roulette with him by juggling 3 guns and 1
He's such
bullet
a dick.
loaded in it. This means
so
that,
rude.
But this means that Ocelot had about a 7% chance of killing Sokolov, which Volgan seems bizarrely calm about, since he seems to really need Sokolov to finish the Shagohara. Maybe it's just that everyone's like the boss and everyone can track where the bullet is. 'Cause that's the best thing is when the boss is like, nope, and she stops like last second because she knows like that's the shot that's going to kill him. So maybe everyone is capable of doing that, and that's the detail that we're missing.
I
or
love that this
something.
person did the math. They said 7%. I trust them that that's accurate.
Right.
do we want to share the end Easter egg there with Haley and Charles? Do they know about that one?
Hey, take it away, man.
Oh yeah, he was there, and then I got discovered so fast, and then I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. So you can get a sniper rifle right before you go there, and you can kill the end right there.
Really?
Whoa!
Isn't that
Yeah,
awesome?
which I
Wow.
actually did when I was reviewing it because I was in a hurry.
You
I was like,
dirty
okay, let me make sure I
dog.
take care of him here. But if you just don't like go fully in, there's like it's like a really short window where you can hit him, and there's an explosive barrel behind him, and then the fight later is actually like you kind of skip it. There are guys like in that zone, but I mean you can totally kill the end before. Like you can kind of skip his whole boss fight, which is like wild.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is
That's
wild.
cool.
That's so cool. And so you eventually sneak in and meet Granin, and I love they have that like the Western version of the Metal Gear Solid theme as you're going into his office and all that fun stuff. It's cool to hear. And then he walks through the whole thing about how tanks need legs. Everybody knows that tanks need legs.
He's
But-
got Gundams on his desk. That was cool.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet. It's just I think
a
it's
little bit of a
fun
nerd.
to have like this section and all the sections in 3 where you're like inside a building. I like the jungle. It's all unique and well and good, but there's parts where it's like, oh, I get just like sneak around an environment. It's a little bit like Metal
being
Gear
in
Solid 1 and
buildings
2.
more.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, as someone who loved 2 so much, and by the time 3 came out, I was actually a little disappointed you're in the jungle. Like, I liked the sort of industrial setting of 2 so much that it was like, okay, at least we're not in the jungle the whole game. But in this modern version, I feel like it is a lot less detailed than the jungle. It doesn't look as impressive as the jungle.
Right. And then we are streaming right ahead, and you're in the clearing, and of course this is where the fear comes out. And you got to see him run across the water, first of all, which when he's running away from the docks, which was my reminder where I was like, wait, is the fear secretly the coolest of the Cobra unit? I feel like he's
the tongue one.
Yeah, he's the big tongue Spider-Man.
He has too many powers. He has too many powers. He can run on water. He can fly through the air. He turns invisible, and he's got a venom tongue. Overpowered.
I did not think of it because in my mind I'm like, what? Why does a spider guy have a big tongue like that? But it totally must be like unless it's some spider thing, I don't know, but it must just be like a venom nod, right?
I assumed, if I had to guess,
X-Men.
I would assume it's like a chameleon or something.
Oh yeah,
Because there's lizards that can run on water. Chameleons would quote unquote go invisible, and then you have a big tongue for catching bugs or whatever.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, when he like dislocates his arms and crawls up, he feels so.
He's
I don't
so
know.
spidery.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
He's such just a little goofball. Like I love as he's like explaining and doing his whole monologue how he's just like flipping around, standing on his hands for no reason. He's just very into showing off how flexible he is at all moments during this thing, and he just has the best voice. I love just his over the top.
He's also known as
storytelling.
the Spider Soldier, apparently. So.
There we go. Lock
there
it
you go.
in. This guy's as good as it gets. This was. I love the fear. This run through his boss fight was confusingly lame, where it's like, all right, thermal goggles, I see exactly where he is. And then I just shot him in a tree, and he'd go, yeah, and jump and run to another tree that was like right next door. I would shoot him in that tree, and then it must have just been some like simple AI loop where he just jumped back and forth between these two positions
weird.
over and over again until he got down to like 40% health. It was like ridiculous how simple it was to take this guy out, which is a bummer because he's iconic.
I died.
also had way too much. Oh, really? This was like, I didn't even need to put the goggles on. I just shot where I thought he was. I guess I had enough bullets that I killed him without even like trying. And I remember chat was like, wow, how'd you do that? I was like, oh, was that supposed to be hard? Because I think the same thing happened to me, that I got bad AI pathing. And it was just like, he was like, over here. And he was only like jumping 2 feet apart. So I just shot at him a bunch.
This is one that I looked up, because this is, I didn't find him very challenging, but he's where you start to have like a lot of weird options, like apparently you can feed him rotten food. Like he'll come down and eat if you leave rotten food out for him, and that'll like poison him and stuff like that. And then apparently you can use the fake death pill to like pretend you die, and he will like come out and like check on you. And then and you can't do it twice. He won't fall for it the second time. But there's like a lot. This is one where there's a lot of like weird options for him. That like the pain did not have.
Yeah. Did you guys notice like when you're running through this environment on the way there, where you start to notice like this feels like an important big environment with a lot of traps everywhere? Surely this is relevant. Okay, this is boss fight catnip for later on. Yeah. And then of course he has the best line as he's about to die. He goes, "I see it, the fear, and then explodes in the coolest possible way.
I hate his tongue.
You hate that man's tongue?
Yeah, you can see in the gameplay I keep pausing to be like, oh.
Well, he's just cool. He like slits it like a little crow or something, so he can yell his name better. Apparently, I don't really know.
There's like people who do that surgery in real life, and they cut a slit down their tongue.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen my tongue, Haley? I did it. I did the surgery 3 years ago.
I do when you do the MinnMax.
Yeah, they can. I don't know why.
I think it's cool. Now you're on your way. Like you get to. Granon gave you the key to go to the mountains through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then you get to a section where it is awesome. Like this whole part of the game, I don't know, here's another boss. And you enter a boss fight with the end. The great sniper himself. And I forgot how cool this is, how they set it up in such a sweet way where they're like, the entire forest is on his side. He's the father of modern sniping. He's like a plant. And so I love it's like there's this feeling it's like he's undefeatable. He is the forest itself, and he has all the patience in the world. But then the coaching for Snake, as they say, but he doesn't know you. It's like, what could I possibly do? I get this old man.
I've had my ass kicked 15 times.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting destroyed all the time. But this is like one of my favorite little moments in this entire game is where it's like, all right, fight in the end, here we go. And then it just cuts back to your gameplay, and it's like crickets. It is just the
Yeah.
end bar up top, no music, you can't see them, and it's just go. You're in a boss fight now. And I can't think of mini games. I don't think any game has ever done it like this, right? Where it's like big, amazing cinematic for the intro of the boss fight, and then like no music, no nothing. Just you're technically in a boss fight, even if it doesn't feel like you are. It is so unique.
The only thing I didn't like about this one is that it was split into 3 sections, and he like could not be in a whole section, and it's kind of hard to tell.
Right.
That's the only thing I didn't like. The rest of it, I agree with you. I relate the atmosphere. The like, you like go out into the open air for a second, and he's like, psh, you're like, oh god, you have to dodge out of the way. And then it took me quite a while to realize, oh, I should probably put my infrared goggles on. And even still, I was like, it's him, and it was just like a mushroom or something, tripped up and stuff. It was very, I relate that. But the only thing I didn't like is, I would go into a new area and I'd be like, is he even in here? And I'd kind of wander around and nothing would shoot at me. And I just walk back and go. And I was like, oh, that kind of felt like I lost all my cool atmosphere momentum by doing that.
Well, it is kind of nice to have it, he can be kind of, I don't know, kenneled into different areas. Because if it was all just like one big open area, which I get is, the vibe they're going for. And I'm sure there's technological limits for why. But still, it's like, okay, it's nice that there are places where it's like, oh, I just can't be shot here. But if he could just technically kind of shoot you no matter what in this big, huge open area, like you kind of have to segment it. But it does feel extra bad if you're like taking your time, role playing it the way you should have, just like slowly crawling through the grass and then be like, oh, he's not even here. He's not even in this area.
It's like
whatsoever.
embarrassing.
Yeah. But
is it the infrared goggles where you can see his footprints?
Yeah.
Look, because I played it on Steam Deck like a couple months before Delta came out and played up to Through the Sorrow, and that was, I remember how I fought him was like just tracking his footprints with the infrared.
But then then I was running and then I thought my own footprints were his. And I was going
oh no. But you can also use the like the sound detection too. Is you can go around, you can kind of hear him out there if you just want to comb through and slowly try and find all the different spots to see where he's at. Otherwise, if you see his bird in the area, like on a tree, that's an easy one. And so I immediately shot the crap out of his bird.
You can kill the bird, and he'll be worse at tracking you apparently if you kill the bird.
Is the bird not in his little cutscene at the end?
It's a ghost version of the bird. It's just like a see-through political model of that. But
that's silly.
It's very satisfying.
That's like God or something, right? Or I don't know. The bird is something.
I can't believe you picked up on that subtext. Yeah, the bird is God. The parrot is God.
Yeah. Were you guys consulting the map the whole time? Is that a thing in the original game? Because I was doing that and I didn't know if that was like.
Now I was trying to remember, Kyle. In the original, did it have the circles for his little sniping positions in the original, or is that just with the HD collection that they added that?
I don't think they added anything like that for the HD collection. Like Delta added things. HD collection is just fully a port.
I think they tweaked the end fight in some ways. I got to look it up. Yeah.
I could be wrong about that. Yeah, the end fight is the other crazy thing you can do with the end fight is apparently I never tried this. And when I went to the review event, I did see a couple of people seeing if you could still do this. But if you if you save in the middle of the fight and don't return for 8 days, or move your system's clock forward, like on the PS2, you can move the system clock forward 8 days. He just dies of old age.
That's hilarious.
That's the one thing I knew about this before. I also noticed that his like stamina bar, like just went down over time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know if that's the timer that makes him die, or if something else happens when they get to 0.
No, it is just real time. I think he must just be unconscious then, and you just.
Okay. I was just reading this now because I looked up some of these like weird ways to defeat them and stuff, and this is interesting because if you do it that way, where he dies of old age, apparently the parrot will detonate his micro bomb. I was like, micro bomb? What are you talking about? And I looked it up, and there is canon for why they blow up. Apparently they're all equipped with micro bombs meant to destroy their bodies. They're only used to make sure neither a person's body nor important items can be retrieved by the enemy, and were primarily used by the Cobra. So it's just like a self-destruct.
There you go.
What's the government going to do with I guess their tools? That makes sense. But it's like, oh, give me the Payne's body. Oh, well,
I mean, if you could harness the power of a man who can use photosynthesis to be like 180 years old, that seems relevant. So, Haley, it's interesting because you played 5, right, with Quiet, and she has the same idea as the sniper, right? She's the same thing as the end. So how come
he's not in a bikini?
That's what everyone was very snarky about when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. It was like, snark alert.
Because no one wants to see the end's boobs. Exactly.
Wouldn't
Yeah, if
complain.
Ocelot just squeezed him, maybe it's quiet.
I don't know. I was jamming that R1 during every the end cutscene. I was like, come on.
I do think it's so
Show me something
cool.
good.
I love when you are seeing your character from the end's perspective. You know, like that's such a good way of letting you know, like you're in his sights. And the fact that you can like control yourself. Does this ever happen to you, Charles?
No, what are you talking about?
So it'll just show like his sniper if you're about to get shot for a while. And then you can control Snake and be like, okay, from his perspective, if I go behind this tree, he technically can't get me. It'll just cut to his point of view, which is really cool.
He just hit
I
me.
think that only happened once. I think that only happened to me once really quickly. Do you think it like triggers if you're going like really slow
Maybe.
or something?
Yeah, I was enjoying
Because I
this
don't think
fight.
it happened
Yeah.
very much for me.
Okay,
So,
it was probably like a 30-minute fight or something for me.
I was gonna say I loved this fight. This was like the most immersed I've felt during this game because
Yes.
it like went so quiet. And then I think by the end of it, I kind of saw the game of
Yes.
it all, and I like kind of understood how to like get around it and stuff. But at the very beginning, like I was trying to be so quiet. I was maxing out my camo at every moment just to get around, and then eventually realized there was 3 different screens could be on. I was like, oh, but I didn't have the sniper at this point.
Oh.
But there's like a building here,
Yeah.
and there's a sniper in there, and
That's
it's
where I
one of many instances where I'm like, wow, I'm so smart that I found this item at the exact time I'm supposed to find this item, because you could maybe you would just never get a sniper if you didn't find it in this specific place. But it felt like I was supposed to look there, get the sniper, and now I'm like, okay, now I can beat him at his own game. So I didn't even run into him until I found the sniper, and then I was like, okay, I can fight back now.
Right.
I think the first time I found him, I accidentally walked up behind him because I thought he wasn't in my spot anymore. And then I saw the exclamation, like I had stealthed good enough accidentally, and then he saw me and like ran away.
He
Yeah,
flashbanged
good.
you.
Yeah,
He just a
he's got speed when he
flashbang.
needs it.
I love it. Call yourself the son of the boss. I mean, it just runs away real quick. That's what I remember from this fight. It's just over and over again him saying, "You call yourself the son of the boss," and then this is the end.
Really
as
rubbing
he's
it
taking
in.
you out.
It's like,
so
does he call
sweet.
himself the son of the boss?
I don't think I've ever called myself the son of
Calls
the
her
boss.
his mother away.
That's true. That's true.
Amos Dragon says something that's right up Haley's alley. They say, still one of my favorite boss fights in video games ever. If you get down during the fight, the end just brings you to prison
That's
in
what I was
Sokolov's
gonna say,
facility. Make your way back to the end to continue the fight. Also happens to be the only boss fight in this section that isn't made harder by the monitor controls, making stuff like quick reload harder to do and stuff.
Yeah, I just reloaded my save because ain't no way I was hoofing it that entire way back. Because they put you in an open cell, and then you just have to like run all the way back through the forest and everything. So I only had to backtrack like 5 minutes, not even. But if I hadn't have reloaded my save, it probably would have been 15 or 20. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
I just reloaded. But
But
that is fun.
I love it because like, yeah, the end will just like pick you up and like haul you all the way
He like
over
feels
there.
bad for you almost.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, little man. Moves you to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, there was just a counter of enemies. It was like, I would enter an area and be like, oh, there's 8 guys here,
yeah. So if you kill
You
him,
had to
didn't-
kill them all.
No, you don't. Which I thought you did, and then I was like, oh, I can just continue,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Which that was kind of fun in its own way too, because it was like you're sneaking around and like you're in that big space with just a handful of enemies. It was actually still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anthony R says, having to sneak up on the end to get his camo is such a cool way to do it. The other bosses, up to this point, you simply had to beat them non-lethal to get their camo. But the amount of secrets in this game makes me wish there were more games that did this sort of stuff. Also, I don't know if this is new to this version, but going to the map shows the different locations the end can be sniping from, which I thought was a cool addition to this version of the game. Yeah, you're right, Anthony R. You can enter the Konami code on the map, and it'll show you where the end is. Apparently,
What?
is another little Easter egg if you want that secret
Cool.
guidance.
Oh, I kill a deer in the gameplay. Sorry.
You
Here,
gotta
I
do
felt
it.
bad about
It's a lot of like, I do like how much they hype up this fight. Like it's a battle of wills, battle of stamina. Who can survive out here the longest? They make it seem like you need to be out here for like weeks, which I think was originally,
Hunting.
originally Kojima's idea was that this was going to take like a ridiculous amount of time to get through, and then it
that
kind
would
of
be
got
rough.
scaled back. But Charles, you're right. Like I love this fight so much. It definitely is a fight where it's like. It's a little microcosm of the entire game of like, I see the kind of hardcore survival route and it's an awesome idea, but you need to simplify, you need to boil it down and it just becomes less hardcore. But if this fight really was, if you treat it in the way that it can be treated, and you do just go like scene by scene, frame by frame, slowly crawling, like this can be the coolest fight ever. You just really have to role play it.
You can do it the Kojima intended way if you want. You also don't have to.
Yep.
So that's like that's the perfect.
Yeah.
Ground.
No, I think it's also a Metal Gear thing a lot for me that became a lot easier when I was playing these in like the really long play sessions versus like just the virtuous mission at the very beginning, where it's like just suspend your disbelief, just be on board with it, just crawl around and allow yourself to do like what Snake would do in the moment. And like even if I can see like I don't know, like in Kyle's case where he's like I'm gonna actually kill the end here, not because it's a fun Easter egg to do, but because I want to finish the game faster.
Yeah.
Like you can see that and you can do that, but it's also very easy to just be like, no, I'm not gonna cheese this. I'm gonna sneak around and do that. And I appreciate I have the choice to do that, which is cool. And that's I think why I like this fight the most, is I felt the most in control of. Like I had a lot of options I could do. I could take it my own way or a slightly alternate way. It was
the opposite of the Ocelot fight where I just have to stare at him while he plays with his guns and nerds out.
So, I mean, easily for you guys. I mean, up to this point, like the best boss fight, right? I mean, like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You feel that way, Haley? So. I don't know if I mean.
Yeah, it is. It's unique too. It's memorable.
Yeah. Did like the quiet stuff in Metal Gear Solid 5 have an impact on you at all? Because I feel like after this, I mean. Even Sniper Wolf, I guess, in Metal Gear Solid 1 is kind of starting the trend for these sniper battles. But this is kind of the best. And it feels like everyone after this in the Metal Gear series are just trying to do another version of the end. So I don't know if you played Quiet's fight first in 5, if that would have a bigger impact on you.
I hadn't even thought about it until you brought that up. But yeah, that gameplay plays the same way. And it also hits just as well there, I think, of just like, wow, this person is more skilled than me. Like, I like feeling that way in a game. It always kind of sucks when you are too OP and, you know, it's kind of loses the fun of it. I like feeling pinned down. That sounds wrong, but that's like what it's trying to do, is make you be like, oh God, this is a foe that's worth fighting. And what was fun with Quiet was then she becomes your ally. So then when you can, you know, instruct her to go take an angle while you do certain things. And having first been the person at the other side of the scope, it feels good to know, like, now that scope's aimed at the people I don't like. It's just like, it's a good way to introduce cool. That always felt very good.
Yeah.
Obviously that doesn't happen here. He explodes, but
as you do.
Still
cool.
And your dentures
in my notes,
pop
I did
out.
say, so glad this dude was going to finally be at peace, but then he blew up, and it's only at this point it occurred to me that perhaps the explosions were more than, quote, Metal Gear magic.
He's so calm about it. He's like, this was a good life I lived.
Yeah. Well, first his dentures have to fly out comedically to really make
I
a big
forgot
impact
that they
on
did
it.
that was dumb.
Interrada writes it, dumb.
Oh, I mean, that was so cool and awesome.
Emotional, I think is the
and
word.
gave me a boner, and it was so cool.
Yeah, okay. Now you're talking like a Metal Gear fan. Thank you.
Now I'm talking about Kojima.
Yeah. Interrada says, I don't know if it was intentional, but a lot of the sniping spots listed on the map had Siberian mushrooms placed, where if the end was laying prone, his head would be sat. Multiple times I pulled my gun out and realized just a mushroom and not him. So maybe he just loves eating those little Siberian mushrooms.
Maybe he's just having a snack, yeah.
Yeah, a little yen snack. Shoji Kodo says, it's always super satisfying to sneak up on the end, then hold him up in order to get his camo, which now nets you a couple achievements in Delta since you also achieve the 100% camo index with it. You also get the added bonus of snagging his sniper rifle, which is the Mosi Nagant, via the non-lethal takedown route as well. Psyduck Mantis, very appropriate name. They say, I captured the end's pet bird during this fight. I know I technically need
capture it. Oh, that's wild. I didn't know you could do that.
I know I technically need to eat it to fill out the food log, but I can't do it because it's just too dang cute. Who are you, Kelsey?
Oh no!
They say, plus, I kind of love the idea of Snake just adopting this parrot and carrying it around everywhere after being forced to fight the former owner, who's his grandpa.
That'd be cool. He's on your shoulder the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, parrots live like decades, right? Like, so like it could have made its way into like Metal Gear 1 and Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2.
And he has an eye patch, so he'd be like a pirate.
I mean, there's a parrot in 2, right? I'm trying to remember.
You got the horse and the diamond dog. They should have had Diamond Parrot in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Diamond Parrot.
Is there... So I'm just hearing them talk about like non-lethal takedown options. So then you get camo from that?
Yeah, you get camo from the Cobra unit.
Do they still die? Do they just blow themselves up afterwards? Or what is the...
Yeah, I think they still do.
It just doesn't count as a death for the overall tally, but it's the same cutscene. It must be, right?
Yeah, because I think maybe the idea is like Snake didn't kill them, right? So like,
Right, they blew themselves up.
They blew themselves up.
The other thing I was going to ask is then
Nico Giant in the chat says yes, exactly. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then in the Sorrow fight, if you capture the bird, I wonder if the bird is there.
It's the.
Oh. You haven't eaten it yet.
Oh wait, so
it's
I
not.
ate the bird immediately. Like I was looking for it. I was like, I'm eating your bird in front of you, old man. And it was like, it's very
You
satisfying.
with your scope, and you're like, I don't want
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I hope you fucking see this. It tastes terrible. It did like a sliver of stamina. It was just like the biggest waste of
It just
time
goes
to try to.
worth it.
I had to do it.
That's
so
like if in in a Superman movie, you just see Lex eating Superman's dog. Like it's just eating the person's pet. Like
That's John
before they're
Wick.
out of the picture is crazy. Yeah, John Wick. Yeah.
That
Oh
would
my
make
god.
me go John
I
Wick
love
for
that.
sure.
But
If my
he
enemy
is-
started eating my dog in front of me, I would be like, now I'm killing you the worst way I could ever think of.
eating you.
I'm going to eat you, but then you're eating your dog.
Oh, what a twist ending! Credits.
You can't do that. That's a horribly
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
ironic twist.
But the bird is there in the Sorrow boss fight. Then, yeah. So
Well,
the bird,
yeah, I'm saying if you don't eat it, though.
If it's in your
Yeah, if you
pocket
capture it, it's
still.
probably
if you
not.
Oh, I
because this
see.
person captured the bird. That's what I was.
I bet he
Right.
thought of that, and if it's in your pocket, the
Yeah.
bird doesn't show up as a
Yeah,
ghost.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would be surprised. Yeah, I mean these games are thorough in that way. Yeah.
I'm not like I've been working throughout the years just for a slice of my life on my emotional intelligence. I'm not as in tune with emotions as I probably should be, but is there an emotion that's just called the end that I'm missing here? Or is this guy just kind of stand out?
I think maybe
I guess
it's the emotion of the final second of life or something, of like finality.
Dentures?
That's denture explosion
So he's-
finality.
You know, it's funny.
is-
I've always liked his name, but it's not until this moment, Ben, that I've been like, wait, hold on a second. This
It's an
doesn't
odd
line
name.
up at all. Like, that's a great point.
I think it's not to just do with an emotion. I think it's like all the aspects of dying.
Yes. I think you're
And
right.
he's just
He's
like,
like outlived. He's like looking forward to the end because he's
Yeah.
But he probably had this name when he was, sniping in the Civil War or whatever, right?
because he's ending lives.
Okay.
that's like, yeah, the Berenstain Bears named Mama and Papa. I'm like, you were a baby named that? That doesn't make any freaking sense.
No truth in this art, eh?
I would have. Yeah, if I renamed him, it would be like the Acceptance. Like I feel like he's just.
that's
like,
good.
He's
That's
accepted
good.
his
Not
life and
everyone gets
everything.
that, but everyone
Kind of
gets an
thing.
end.
Maybe the other Sorrow.
Well, but that's what he brings into battle, though, right? Like he brings in acceptance of like, because he when he starts, he says something like, "All right, I'm ready to die. Like this is I'm prepared to face that." Something
yes,
to that effect.
This is his final thing, and then he's going to be
like he's
consumed
okay
by
with
the
that.
forest. Right.
And then he blows up
Yeah.
That's right.
forcibly.
Is that kind of what joy is, though? Maybe is that because that's what boss is?
Acceptance is too much joy.
It's like the joy of like, oh, I lived a life and it was good.
No, because you can
it's
be like, oh, I
different.
lived a life and it sucked. That's also acceptance. That's not
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. But then let's see, there's a phone call with paramedic in this section where she talks for a long time about Forbidden Planet. I guess it's if you save, right? And it stars Dr. Morbius, of course. So she talks about Morbius for a while.
That was in the 60s, that movie?
Yeah, I guess so.
She's been yapping, yappy.
But then she talks about Dr. Morbius and she says, quote, maybe because he can turn invisible. She says, maybe someday you'll be able to turn invisible. And Snake says, yeah, that'll be the day. Which
By the
is
way,
a
I was-
fun,
I-
not a cheeky nod.
Just real quick, I was thinking of Fantastic Planet, the animated movie, and I was like, that was out in the 60s? So it's in the 70s.
Are you is that the Jake Gyllenhaal animated one from like 3 years ago?
No.
Okay, no one
I was
knows
thinking
that's
of
what he's
Hollywood Planet, the restaurant.
I was
which is also
too.
quite new.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I've heard of Planet Hollywood. I've never heard of Hollywood Planet.
Listen, I've been there once because I'm Canadian. All right, we don't got cool stuff like that. We got A&W. That's all we have.
And that donut place, people love that donut place.
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
It got bought by Burger King, and now it's ass.
Whoa!
They're literally serving assholes at
They're
the
serving.
donut place.
You know, that's what a donut is. Wake up, people.
Whoa!
Wake up.
Hey guys, Charles is about to
Never mind.
say something killer.
I hope they make a Sneak King sequel, but about Tim Hortons was what I was going to say. That's what you teed up there. So thank you.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Sneak King.
And then you sneaking all the way out to the next section of this game, which, in terms of like things that you probably knew about Metal Gear Solid 3, I'd have to imagine the end boss fight had probably been discussed, knowing you can jump ahead in the clock and stuff there for Charles. And then is this next thing something that you all knew was in the game? The ladder sequence?
I didn't know the ladder. That was very fun.
Oh, cool.
I knew of the ladder. I thought it was... In my head, I just thought it was super boring. Like, I thought people were like, isn't it crazy they make you climb this boring ladder for so long? And then they were singing, and I was like, oh, this is great. And then I was almost like, oh, I hope I don't get to the top of the ladder too fast before like the song ends, and it all worked out.
It's like
they time it.
timed.
Yes. Oh, they know exactly what they're doing.
It's so banal and weird, but it's like we're still going. It's kind of like what you're thinking the whole time. I love it for that.
If you stop moving, does the song pause? I never tried.
It slows down like a record player. No, that would be sweet.
I just like also the sort of realistic depiction of space, which video games don't really do a lot. It's not like things always kind of feel squished in to feel, but like the fact that it takes you that long to get up there just really gives you a sense of like how far up it is. I don't know. I really like it. I think it's
Jacob Keller has a whole video about that. Yeah.
Oh, does he?
I agree. Like scale in games is really important to me. I find a lot of farming sims have everything's too big, and it makes me immediately go, I don't want to play that. Something about that just really bugs me. Yeah. And this game does have fantastic scale, particularly in this long ass ladder.
I would love to know like the history of how and why this happened. Is it just a practicality of like, okay, we're down here in the jungle, we need to change the scenery, we're going up to the mountains, how is Snake going to get there? He'll climb a ladder. How long does that ladder need to be? We can't possibly have a ladder that long in the game. That's insane. But what if...
That's funny, put it in.
Yeah, what if we put the song in to make it seem like it fits better?
It kind of gives like inside joke at the studio, and then they just like put it in.
I think it starts with the song. Yeah. Like I think because there's no technical reason it needs to be. In fact, it's probably more complicated to make it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, and until this moment, it didn't occur to me it was accurate scale. I was just like, it's just another weird Metal Gear thing where there's just like an abstract ladder climbing thing where you climb through a pocket dimension until the song ends. That makes perfect sense, though, that it is accurate to scale. But I just was I suspended my disbelief so hard I forgot to consider logic.
So you think Snake is like hearing it in his head, or is it diegetic? Is it like echoing along the?
He's writing
the walls.
He's writing the song in his head as it goes.
I got an idea for a song.
Well, I mean,
this would be a great time to sort of.
I assume that's the emotion he brings into battle is the cool, and so he's climbing up the ladder. He's like, "I'm so cool. This has got to have its own theme song right now, James Bond style."
I like that. I like that logic.
John G writes in on Patreon saying, during the insanely long ladder climb sequence, I thought the echo effect on the vocals was a nice touch to make it feel as though the music was almost in the environment. Yeah, it is kind of like a nice echoey thing. I love this little space up here. I love sneaking around those guys with the rocket launchers with just the huge mounds of dirt. Because like in no Metal Gear game have you had this environment before, where it's like you're used to like, okay, hallways and then the jungle, and now it's just sneak around giant dirt mounds. Go.
You're excited. No game has had this.
It's true. It's such a unique thing. It's like, okay, I can kind of crouch around kind of parts of these weird termite mounds, whatever the heck is going on top of this mountain.
A lot of vultures.
Yeah.
I was certain at that point, I was like, whoa, just this cool place. I can run around. And I'm pretty sure I just like walked up and punched a vulture to death or something. And then a guy saw me and then it broke out into a fight. I was like, oh, I forgot what kind of game this was. I thought I was just going to run around these dunes for a while. And then it was like a cool, I think to your point, Ben, it didn't read to me as a combat environment at all. It didn't even occur to me to be stealthy there. And then it was like, oh, I should have been paying more attention. I wasn't focused on the mission.
Yeah.
Snake style.
I do love that. Like they know what you're looking for at this point, where then you're sneaking around the path and just have the huge AA gun with the hindy helicopters flying around all over the place. You can just frickin' unload this thing. And as I was unloading,
that must have hit back in the day.
Oh, it's so good, so fun.
Blow them up. I felt like it hit in the 2000s to play like no other game lets you just rock out of a helicopter. This is awesome kind of energy. Let's replay that section again.
But then it is funny just to think of like the beginning of the game where it's like, you clearly were told from Major Zero that if you break stealth, World War III will happen. And still Snake's like, got it. Okay, got it. Just unloading in all these helicopters.
Yeah.
Well,
Every single person is like, get him, oh my God, run.
In the second part, though, am I correct that they're like, but you want to kind of be seen because we want
to flex on them?
Khrushchev. No, we want Khrushchev to know that like we're working on it.
Chat's got your back. Charles is right. They say it in the briefing.
Okay,
that they want Khrushchev to know that help is on the way.
Oh, I don't pay attention.
Yeah,
during the
it's not
briefings.
like
How dare you,
like broadcast your face all over the place, but it's like this next one. It's like you don't have to be completely quiet. Like they can know what's happening in Russia, but don't like let the world know an American operative is going
You can
on.
blow up one helicopter, Snake. Just one.
Right. Come on. Be tasteful.
2.
It was a
Okay,
malfunction.
2.
Who knows what happened?
So it's like more like they just can't know you're American.
Yeah, probably.
And you can't get caught and they interrogate you and figure out you're an American person.
We have rogue
but some
agents. They are
random
going
Russian.
around.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
Russian just could be running around. They don't 100% know you're American unless you were yelling things.
What's the organization that Volgan runs?
GRU?
It's not the KGB. The GRU. Yeah,
GRU.
these GRU agents are with their minions trying to steal the moon. Who knows?
Stu writes in, says, little detail I like, when you meet Eva in the mountains, it specifically shows her left boot is scuffed. That's because on a motorcycle, you shift gears by moving a shift lever up and down with your left foot. And then that scuff mark happens to pretty much all the shoes you ride a lot in, and Ocelot later notices it and adds to her suspicion of her. Yeah, he's watching. They make a really key note of like
They
zooming
zeroed in on that. I'm like, well, what? Like I stared at the boot. I was like, what about it? It made me think that, yeah, like, oh, it's the left-handed crook. Or I don't know. The left-footed crook. I
Just
don't even know.
the magic of that whole thing. But then this is a scene, where she really just lets her rip, and she really tries to smooch Snake's
Really
face
show her
off.
boobs.
She really tries to show her boobs, and Snake is aggressively holding her brassiere together.
It's
it's a
so
test of
embarrassing
strength.
for her. It's so. I said during my stream when I was watching this, I'm like, thank God she's the hottest woman I've ever seen. Because if you were even a 9 doing this, you could never recover. But she's clearly fine. But just like to be so crazy rejected, and she's clearly trying to be like sexy and like be like, oh, my clothes are so scratchy, and like taking them off and stuff. And he's just like, yuck. Oh, like not into it. And you double down. She zips up her clothes and then zips them back down.
Yeah.
That's doubly embarrassing.
Yes.
Because she like almost is like, he's not liking it. Let me try one more time. And he's just like, yuck. And then something explodes and they all run away. I was like, that is so embarrassing. But she gets away with it because she's Eva. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I can fall in love if it's part of the mission, even with you, zip. And she unzips
He
her top.
throws up
again.
in his mouth in front of her.
Follows it back.
Did you?
He's just like, give me more ramen. I want to leave.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Delta barf eater.
Did you all like it when she said, I bet if I kissed you, you'd taste like a wild beast?
Is this what men long for? Women to tell them they would taste sticky when they kiss?
Is that what men long for? Yeah,
I bet
Haley.
you taste like oh, your breath stinks. That's delicious how stinky you are. I was like, what's happening?
You got
It's
real.
just so funny to play this when you're not a 12-year-old boy. Because like,
Yeah.
you just kind of go, like you can't. It's just every 12-year-old
Ben and
boy's
I were like
wish
17, I
Stacey-
think.
Oh, sorry.
we were mature, cool guys.
I
and-
thought we were in junior high, not high school. But okay,
No,
sure.
but Haley,
High
it is
school.
in a way where it's like it's so over the top that like if my mom walked in on me playing it now, I'd point it and be like, "Isn't this crazy that they tried to
This
do
is
this in the
crazy.
game? They're trying to be hot about this." But if I was 12, I was like, no, wait, it's
Don't come in.
it's diegetic, diegetic."
I just learned that in
Don't
English
come
class what diegetic means, and I want to use it in a sentence.
I mean,
That's
it's
my
got-
English homework tonight.
It's got the complexity you need, though, Haley. Like, there's a whole conversation between Snake and Ava where, they're trying to figure out the idea of the boss and the relationship there. And she's like, oh, is it your lover? It went deeper than that. Does it have to be one or the other? Love or hate? And Ava goes, between a man and a woman? You bet.
Like, I have lots of male friends. What are you talking about?
No, you don't.
That's
That's
such
what
a
I mean.
snake
It's
answer,
giving
though.
12-year-old boy who still pulls pigtails and it
Yes.
like sits at home and goes, I wish I could talk to her. Like, that's what it gives. It doesn't give like normal human man who's like, listen, I just don't like you like that. Oh, tilts away head and blushes. It's just is like, you stink. Run away on the playground. Like, that's genuinely the aura it gives.
I really love just just when someone flirts the snake and he responds in like a fortune cookie, like just some vaguely metaphorical poetic thing. I have one of my favorite moments in Metal Gear Solid 1 that I have like saved as a clip on my Switch is when he's talking to Meryl, and I cannot remember what she's saying, but she's like, "Don't you ever love Snake? Don't you ever make connections?" He's like, "My only connections are the battlefield." Just the most the most like cringe nothing, and just love or hate. Like that honestly might be my favorite line in the whole game. It's like, does it have to be?
And in Ava's defense, there is, is it Major Zero? Somebody later on's like, Ava is playing you, dude. He's like, I know. Someone says like, hey, she's getting just as much out of you as you are out of her, And he's like, I know, I'm not stupid. I know what's going on here, So like there is.
But like if he sleeps with her and just doesn't say anything, he could also just do that. But he's not. He doesn't want it. He's like, no.
Yeah. Complete mission.
My question is, what is she getting out of him? And I guess we'll find out more specifics about her.
That's
by the
because
end
you
of the
don't
game.
use
But
the
I was
naked
like,
snake skin, Charles.
She's getting plenty.
You don't know the answer to that.
You got to use her imagination.
I mean, like they're on the same side. I assume it's like she's using,
We're
she's getting
assuming.
something out of you.
Right.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, I'm like, she's not gonna like get him to be like, and I call my boss Major Zero. She's like, aha, I've learned the secret trick or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
there's
she's
not
like
a
on the radio with you guys.
strategy
And
thing.
stuff.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah. But then here's that whole cutscene, with Grennan getting tortured in the barrel and Ocelot falling in love with torture and them trying to figure out who the spy is and the transmitter in the boot and all that stuff. But I do love that Ocelot, he's such a little badass. I love Ocelot throughout this game. But like when he goes up to Volgan and he gets right in his face, he's like, I don't approve of your methods. Like just how cocky he can be at times is so satisfying.
Yeah.
And especially I love the relationship between Ocelot and the boss, and how the boss is just like always looking at him like, you little like sometimes she'll just like slap him, sometimes just like walk right by him, but it's always just this feeling of just like, come on, dude, like get your crap together.
Such a good vibe with every character. Like she truly is the best woman that he's written to date. Like I think honestly, she's so cool.
Yeah, I think she might be the best woman. Twitch poll is the boss the best woman. I think it might be.
I would agree.
Did you say Ocelot's a badass or the boss is a badass?
Both are, but Ocelot is a badass for standing up to Volgan in this scene.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't get badass from Ocelot. I was just gonna say he seems to me like
he's a dweeb.
He's
yeah,
he's
the
confident.
biggest dweeb in
I
the
guess
whole game.
he's a
Sure,
confident
that's
dweeb.
fine.
I think it's probably a better way to.
You
to
smell
phrase it.
really pretty. Who are you?
Yeah,
That's what he acts like.
Well, whatever. But I also love in this sequence how Ocelot is spinning the Fears gun. That's so cool. Like the little bolt thrower thing. Like he has the Fears gun that he's messing around with. Yeah, it's so sweet.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, yeah. I just was like, what's that from? I didn't think about it. But wait a second.
Yes?
They have the micro bombs that explode all their stuff so that no one can steal it.
Maybe it just
How do they have his gun?
It just launched it even closer to him. It just like launched it across all of the Soviet Union.
The bomb knows how to explode so that it launches into the closest Russian compatriot's hand.
Maybe he had a spare.
That also would make more logical. They might just
know.
have two crossbows at the function. Yeah, that's true.
I said it's crazy that Volgan is their leader. He's so reckless and violent. Like he does not. He's. It's just an interesting thing with the dynamic of him every time. Where like the boss seems to be. I mean, every scene I feel like she's like, well, I don't know. Maybe you don't have to kill Snake. You just throw some of these goons at him. Like I feel like she's very clearly like covering for him in some way, like kind of half rooting for him. And Volgan is just like, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's a guy that would sit through a meeting. He's just like, he doesn't seem to have the organizational chops to run this unit. He's just like torturing people and punching them in the face. That's all I ever see him do.
He's gone
And I just
rogue.
think, it's also that it's a very video gamey thing that not to talk about D&D all the time, but when you play D&D, a thing you kind of have to work in is the hierarchy of an importance of a person also has to correlate with their combat ability, where like if you want to have like a really important figure in a D&D game, they have to be a high challenge rating, or else your characters could just stab them and they'd be dead because they're just like a normal unit or whatever.
Right.
So for me, it's an interesting thing in this where it's like, he's the most powerful guy here. He has lightning powers and he's super strong and he shoves people into barrels. And also he's the leader of this like insurrection of the government, or just the separate leader or whatever, and that's just like a very Metal Gear logic thing,
right? And I love that he's so into his own powers. Every time he's using, he's like, I have so many volts of electricity going through me. He's like, yeah, we got it, buddy. You probably had this your whole life. You think it'd be over it by now, but isn't it cool? But also, it's like he's not just, he's terrible at sitting through meetings, but because he has the philosopher's legacy and he has inherited this secret bank account, right? And he has all the cash. So it's like they're kind of forced to stick
Harry
with him.
Potter.
It's like Harry Potter's bank account? What?
Yeah, his dead parents gave him a big fat bank account, and then he goes to Gringotts Bank and he goes, wow.
Yeah, and he gives it to the Weasleys so they can start their prank shop. We all remember these details.
Hey, why didn't Voldemort just go kill people in the world?
Why didn't Harry shoot Voldemort with a gun? There's a lot of questions we could ask about that stupid world.
That's not important.
That's for the next deep stuff.
Expelliarmus.
Expelliarmus. Yeah, that's the strongest spell.
We're not talking about nerd stuff. We're talking about Metal Gear, everybody. This is the.
I'm in the other group at the junior high that has a Harry Potter club.
I feel like Ocelot right now, to be honest. Yeah.
This is the Fury boss fight, everybody.
Boo.
Now, Haley, context was you were dying to it a lot, and you were at peak stress for getting through this section. So I think that might be coloring your perspective on playing through the Fury boss fight a little bit.
Maybe I felt really stupid in this moment while I was playing it.
I think that could be. That's probably something. But the premise.
I was bad at it.
I also struggled with this one.
Really?
Actually. I died a handful of times, and I don't know. I just had a hard time with it, and I didn't really find any good tricks. For the first time ever, playing it on the other platforms, I never noticed that you can shoot out the pipes in the ceiling to put out the fire and stuff like that. That was I just never caught that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of little things like that. It's so funny because watching Haley suffer again and again, I'm not good at games, but I was like, it's totally fine. I think maybe I died once in this fight, but it's you just take your time and then shoot him when he runs around and get out of his way when the flamethrower's coming at you. It doesn't seem that bad.
Because he literally is sprinting, and then when I see him, he also always sees me and flies across the room, and then also lights fires completely behind himself, so I have to look at the water and shoot the water. And also my health is going down the whole time. I'm standing in the fire and everyone's looking at me and I'm being bad and stressed out.
No, I messaged Haley because I was like, just for solidarity. I did not like a fight. It took me 45 minutes. It took me a long time to get it.
Wow.
So I had no healing items. So I could eat, but I didn't have any immediate heal things. And when there's the fire damage, that's really hard to counter because you just have to hide long enough that your health regenerates.
Spam circle to run away.
So I had one healing thing that healed me a little bit. But it was also the way it just felt so stupid every time because it saves right before the fight. So I have to go in and I got to change my camo. I got to put other things.
Yeah.
And every time I was like, I got to put my black face back on so I hide in the dark properly. And every time I did, I was like, I feel like I'm putting on my clown makeup here to just be you can't see me. I'm wearing all black. I'm blending with the shadows. Anyways, I just didn't have the good healing stuff. And then he hits you, it knocks you down, and it lights you on fire.
Right.
So you have to stand up, you have to get out of the fire, and you have to roll. And then the time that all takes, in addition to the damage it takes from hitting you, that's just most of my health. So I basically had to do this a damageless run or getting hit 2 or 3 times. And I was just hitting him with the rocket launcher. But this one where it's I did all the codec calls. There's a tips page in the menu. I ended up going on Reddit and seeing is there an easier way to do this? No, I just gotta tough it out. But yeah, I did not. This was the biggest point for me where I was maybe I don't like this game actually.
I mean, when you are on fire, you do have the easy shortcut of you can just change your clothes, and then those clothes aren't on fire anymore.
See,
that's crazy.
Why the hell would I think to do that?
It's too logical.
Yeah, I mean,
it's also, I think
they tell you to do that as a parent. If your kid gets caught on fire, you just change their clothes.
Yeah,
change their clothes.
Smart.
The way on paper, that's so. Yeah, of course. I don't know. I've never thought of that, but yeah, just take your clothes off.
It's also just by the time I'm out of the fire, it's not that big of a deal to roll, and then it puts the fire out. So I guess I never thought to change the clothes. I was just mainly standing in the fire, but I don't know. Yeah, I was surprised that it was. Ben, did this take one attempt for you? What
I might have died once.
Your strat?
I just used with the AK-47. I just stayed out of the line of his fire and then just slowly went around and shot him a bunch. I don't know what it was.
A lot. I was like sniping his backpack.
Really?
And stuff.
Yeah, I also saw that the backpack does significantly more damage, which was not clear to me.
Right.
Like if you're hitting him in the back, you do. It's yeah.
And I think is that when he shouts when he goes "son of a bitch" as you're shooting him like in the backpack. I think there's one line reading which kills me.
So.
I think I was shouting that often enough. I don't know
that's right. I heard it from Ohio. That's right. I forgot.
This was Ben. Maybe you were planning to bring this up, but our former coworker Jeff Cork contextualized this guy for me in a way that I never really considered. But the idea is that he was just an astronaut that went to space and saw something up there and came back and was a lunatic. Right?
It's the best.
Like,
it's the best. Yeah, Jeff Cork was obsessed with
lost his mind up in space and then came back down to Earth, which is an interesting idea.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and now he's furious.
Yeah, he saw the fury of the world.
Space.
Yeah, and to the point that when he dies, he becomes giant flaming skulls that then fly around the environment.
Yeah, why does he get the ghost treatment?
It's really a lot.
No one else got that.
Oh, I saw something up there.
I must have died once because I have the note that when you die, the fury, he goes, he's dead? Did he feel the fury? And it's like this super defeated, like, I hope my emotion rubbed off on him. It's just like this lame.
That's fun.
It's fun. He's great.
I really had to, I still kind of don't do this well, but like the fact that when you get hit in this game, it puts you prone and you have to put yourself back up. I'm so not used to that. I kind of didn't really think about it too much until you just brought it up, Charles. But like that one little change alone changes so many other situations because I'm a panic roller. As soon as I get hit, I want to roll. And then you can't because you're prone. So I get hit with the fire blast. I'm prone, spamming circle. Nothing's happening. And then my fury, I guess, is just like, what the hell? I need to run. And I like my gamer instincts have accumulated over the last however many years don't work because of this one button input that happens a different direction. I think that's just something that might be the thing that takes me out the most, which I get why it's an option because it wants to feel like you're pulling yourself up your bootstraps to run away from the person. But I just don't have that ingrained in my brain whatsoever. And I think I don't like when I can't run away when I want to run away. And then it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Very animalistic.
One of my weird muscle memory control things that I never fully got over the course of the game between the original game and Delta was that to roll, you would just need to be moving and then you press the prone button. Like you just, like, you know what I mean? Like crouch and like roll and prone. We're all in circle, but here it's triangle or Y if you're playing on Xbox or whatever to roll. And that threw me off because like every once in a while I'd be like, oh, I got to roll out of here. And then I would press the prone button to try to roll like I would have in the original game. But it's like, it's weird that one thing stuck around with me and I couldn't quite shake it. I don't know why. It was weird.
Yeah.
That happens to me sometimes. And I always want to reset the buttons to just do what my brain wants to do. And every single game never allows me. It's like never the games I want to allow me to respec buttons.
Or I do that, but then I'm also stuck in the contemporary controls and I can never like square it. You know what I mean? It's like now I feel like I'm doing it wrong. So it's like I just try to tough it out and stick with the standard controls.
Yeah. I feel like, the animations in this game, it is most frustrating with just like dealing with bodies. Just kind of like the slow movement. Like if you're trying to just like pick up a body and shake them to get like the goodies that pop out of them, like a piñata, like that takes so long, which I guess that's helpful that it does. There is a sacrifice of time if you want to try and shake out all the items from these guys. If you want to get yet another shaft grenade, even though your inventory is full, if you're desperate for that.
Like, why are they obsessed with shaft grenades?
There's so many shaft grenade options.
And mouse traps.
Yeah,
I also remember in the last two games that it was like chaff grenades. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, there's so many security cameras. Like I would always want to have them, and in this game, it's not really relevant.
Right? What do you use?
What would you use them on?
I don't know. There has to be.
I tried it on the electric fence. It didn't work.
Yeah, that was smart.
That's the one thing I would try it on. Yeah.
It is so funny with those electric fences, by the way, when you take out enemies and then they fall. Like I was putting enemies to sleep and they like fell into the fence and they got electrocuted and like flew across the screen. It's very good.
I was picking one up that was knocked out, and when the animation put him back down, he touched the fence and went, yay! And then like moved over to the left. That was fun.
Chess saying that they mess with enemy radio so they can't call for backup.
Oh.
That's very good.
Oh, smart.
And Eli, by the way, says, I love that the knife in the Fury fight is so damaging to him because you have to get in close to see all of his rage. So
Yeah, that's one
what
where
someone said to
I
me.
tried using the knife so many times and I could never hit him.
I can't get close to him.
I
He's
don't-
on fire.
I think I also like maybe just don't understand how the knife works. Like I never actually used it in the game other than just the quick combat thing.
CQC.
Yeah.
When I said like it wasn't a joke earlier when I was like I think that's the thing people wrote in the most about, because I genuinely assumed until we're all talking about it now and I'm realizing I'm kind of the same with Haley, but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this must be the one part of Metal Gear Solid 3 that everyone agrees sucks and the rest of the game is really good. Like I'm genuinely learning right now that that's not the case, and that's surprising.
That's issue. I had such a good time with that fight. Actually, there's a part of me where I was like, "Is this my favorite fight in the game?" Because like, I love just
I
kind
need
of
to
sneaking around that
watch
hallway a
someone
little
else
bit.
play
like,
it now. Yeah, because I'm just
Oh.
Kyle, what's your take on it? How do you rank it with the other ones?
Higher than the pain, but lower than the fear.
Lower
So
than
like
the fear.
4th out of 5.
Yeah, like I struggled with it a little bit. Like you guys. Yeah.
And then Ocelot's at the top.
Of course.
See, again, I forgot Ocelot again.
Isn't it cool, by the way, where they're like, the Fury is the only Cobra unit left alive. And so you're like, well, I guess I only have one more boss fight. But it's like, oh, no. Well, I'm not teasing where we're going too far. But like with the Star, that's just a cool twist of like, oh, you still got to fight more Cobra units, but only one's going to be alive. But anyways, Groznygrad is the next big place here. This is the one that's like, oh, this is as ground zeros as it gets. This is so fun. Like nothing more
This
Metal
was my
Gear.
favorite area.
Yeah, it's so
this is
cool
good.
just to open it up, and then nothing more Metal Gear than sneaking into the back of a car or a truck and getting a little item that's like from the first MSX games. It's all about it. And your mission is to go inside and get Rykov's uniform and mask. Am I remembering this correctly? Where they're like, I don't know what you're gonna do with that mask, and then the solution is, I don't know, it's just magic. Suddenly he has the mask. Don't ask questions about it. That's exactly
Who
Rykov's
gave him
face.
that? Someone gave him it.
I feel like I remember starting with like I remember seeing it in my
Eva
inventory.
gives
and
it to
being-
you.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, I was
Doesn't
like,
she?
I was
Charles,
confused. I don't
We
know where it
picked
came
Metal
from.
Gear Solid 2 as our favorite at the beginning of the game, right?
I picked 1 as my favorite.
You did, okay, because I picked 2,
Yeah.
so I had that. That's how I had the mask. So I've always
Oh.
been curious how you get the mask if you don't pick 2 as your favorite Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't.
I think Eva gave it to me.
Is that right? Okay,
Fairly-
Okay, that
I
makes sense.
think.
gotcha.
I mean, it doesn't
But
really make
you need
sense,
to go.
but it makes sense.
Yeah, maybe just pick it up in the environment too. Let us know, chat. But yeah. So Rykov's hiding in the bathroom. You can take him down, and then it's like we need some private place to strip the clothes off him. Which I was like, I'm in a locked bathroom, but you need to actually
Yeah.
drag him
Crazy.
all the way to like the locker room, which is like several screens away, going up the stairs with his corpse, which is very fun, just to slowly drag him across the building before you can put his mask on. Which, by the way, that mask I think worked well on the PS2 in particular, but it is so silly to imagine that like people are talking to him and they're believing that this mask is a real human
good
being.
mask.
Like,
It doesn't
it
really
needs to be
make
like
any
Mission
sense.
Impossible level quality apparently to convince everybody of exactly what's going on here. But Cameron says over on Patreon, they write in, they said, running around the base like a madman as Rykov was a really fun reward after all those tense stealth sections that led up to it. Also, did I see a Raiden poster inside the locker you shove him in? Yeah, they have like Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 in the poster, which barely makes sense, you guys. But that is just a fun little silly thing.
I like the
yeah,
codes
is
that
there-
lock the doors. That was really fun. I took the time to like interrogate a bunch of different people to get different codes just because I thought that was neat.
You can just walk in as Rykov, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my partner told me that after I spent like 2
Okay.
hours doing that. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, cool. But it still felt rewarding regardless.
Let's see. Josh Shelvek says Raiden gets a lot of backdoor hate in this game, like in Groznygrad when you dress up as Rykov and use the Raiden mask, and everyone in the codec just dunks on Snake for how annoying and punchable he looks. It definitely reads as Kojima having a bit of a chip on his shoulder about Metal Gear Solid 2's reaction. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit in the last episode, but absolutely, that's a huge component here. I forgot how far it goes though. Where what later on when they're talking about the mask, when the boss is also a little homophobic with the whole thing, where she's like, what is this fairy disguise? It's going to rub off on you and then you'll lose sight of who you really are. It's like, take off this stupid fairy's mask. Okay, all right, boss, we got it.
What kind of man disguises himself as a man?
Exactly. But I think,
gay?
well, I think that is exactly what it's tying into. Is last week when you were talking about Haley, like, is there going to be some gay sex in this game? I think is what you're demanding, and it's like, well,
I think
no.
that's what I said exactly.
Yeah, but like
More gay
Volgan,
sex,
yeah,
please.
but like Volgan and Rykov is the relationship that is.
Yeah, he's bi.
Right.
Volgan's bi king.
He's
I
just
kind of liked him a little bit more after I heard that.
the man who electrocuted a man in a barrel until he bled. You thought he was cool?
Yeah, like he kind of redeemed himself a little bit. I was like, queer icon.
Queer
Redeem
icon.
yourself by voice.
As soon as someone's queer, I'm like, wait, maybe I misjudged that. Maybe they're really
Jesus Christ.
You can lift someone by the balls.
Yeah, when he grabbed his balls, I'm like, that man's gay. And then it was true. And I was like, wow, that's great.
What was he trying to, I assumed, what I guessed from that interaction is he grabs his crotch, and if it was Rykov, he'd be like, ow! But Snake
I think
was
he
like,
just knows
I'm
the
so
shape of his
focused.
dick so well.
Yeah, I
He
know
knew
what's the-
Snake's wasn't the right one.
I was
So
confused. Like, was Rykov like castrated? Like, I was really running through every scenario of like, okay, what exactly
God.
is going on here?
I assumed,
just
I guess I
knows his
guessed that
penis.
Snake is. Because he had no reaction. He didn't
But
even
Snake's voice
flinch.
is so deep.
So, Haley, what's your theory?
His voice is so deep. Isn't that what happens? Although, I don't know if that's what happens.
They said, I think Haley is right, is what the chat says about how she recognized him.
Oh, that he just knows his dick so good.
He just knows his dick so good.
It came out
There's a
very,
codec
like,
call where they go into that. Yeah.
Snake, he knows he's gonna know your dick ain't good. Quick, also steal his penis and put it in your pants.
And then Paramedic starts talking about her favorite dick films. It's really uncomfortable.
I'm like the detective.
That's right, Snake. That's right. Shh, 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 shh.
No, that was another pause moment where I went, what the hell is happening? But then I was also kind of like, equality, because if they're going to show boob grab, they show dick grab. And I was like,
But it
no,
is-
That's true.
It's not like full on 2004 homophobia, but it definitely is through the lens of like, there's the shades of like, isn't Volgan weird? Isn't he twisted?
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little, the implication there of just like, we don't like him, the
Yes.
gay one.
Right,
is
right, right.
kind of not the greatest.
Especially when the boss is like, yeah, the gay one. Yeah, it's not the best look here. This was what I was thinking of, like what they're talking with it when I tweak anything, update it in the Delta release.
Was
like,
he gay in Metal Gear Solid 2?
Raiden?
Well, none of these characters are in.
All right, didn't you say that it's a reference to how poorly received 2 was?
Yeah, no, Raiden's like straight as an arrow.
But
He's-
isn't
Raiden's
this
got a
guy in
girlfriend.
2?
Rykov
one-
looks like Raiden.
Yeah.
but he's
Oh,
not
That
Raiden.
is that what it is? It's like wink,
Yeah, he
wink,
just
it's
looks like
Raiden.
Yes,
Yeah, it looks
yes,
exactly
he's wearing
like
the
him.
mask of that.
There is also. I always kind of just felt like it was a Metal Gear Solid 2 reference because there is also a scene where someone gets grabbed in a similar fashion in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right.
What
But
is going on?
no, it's cool. It makes total sense. Aaron T
The
says
president's involved.
it's really fun seeing all of
That
the
is
old
okay.
video game magazines with Metal Gear Solid 3 cover stories from back in the day in the Granini Gorky lab basement. There are a few copies of Game Informer down there. I don't remember seeing those before, but maybe they had to do with the resolution on the PS2. Were those in the original game as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing going into Metal Gear Solid Delta. I was like, is it still going to be there?
Yeah.
You know?
That's fun.
And for the record, I assume Konami did not call up Game Informer for approval in this. It's just probably one of those things like, whatever.
Well, I tried to find out more because I wanted to maybe even write a story about it, but Andy McNamara, he said he didn't remember. And Matt Cotto, who's literally on the back of the magazine, who took a photo explicitly to appear on the back of the magazine, also doesn't remember how that came about. So I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know who to talk to. Joe Juba suggested some former Konami PR people that maybe I could reach out to. But I wish I had a better answer. But the number 1 and 2 people who I thought would know do not remember.
What a bummer.
Kudos to you for trying to figure it out. That'd be so fun to get the story behind that.
Yeah. So this is another big scene where they just torture the bejesus at a snake, which is very
It's
satisfying.
brutal.
And everyone watches.
Everyone watches.
It's very satisfying.
It's fun. It's fun because here's what's fun is it's fun that like when Snake fights the boss here, the last couple times he's just got his butt kicked. And this is the first time in CQC where he's not kicking her butt, but it's a level of like, okay, he's like leveling up a little bit and he's not just immediately getting his butt kicked. But then the boss also snaps on Volgan and throws him to the ground, which is so freaking sweet. Just how everybody is turning on each other in this room as you're kind of learning more and more details about what's going on with the bigger picture and the Philosopher's Legacy and all that fun stuff. But then, the big thing is, just beating the crap out of Snake and punching him in the eye over and over. There's so much eye damage, these huge swings to his eye. Cause if you know Metal Gear, you know that this guy's going to lose an eye at some point. And they do so much teasing in this scene, but it's very fun because it's always to the right eye that they keep teasing. And then when the shot comes from the revolver, which takes out his eye, that is the one to the left. So if you're a real Metal Gear fan, you're like, well, this is not going to do it because it's the wrong eye. I think it's
his right.
Thank you.
But it's to the left of the camera.
You got it. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. Chat points out that you get to hear Sokolov die through torture, which is pretty twisted, but that's the end of his story here. Thanks.
Sokolov dies?
Yeah, when it's just the audio, it's just black screen, but you can hear Sokolov actually dying from Volgan.
I didn't. For some reason, I assumed that was someone else. Which now that I'm saying, that doesn't make any sense.
That was a new character, James Turner.
I was like, Volgan's such a sicko. He's just got this line of war prisoners he's torturing, and once he's done with this one guy, he's gonna come to Snake. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's crazy.
Don't they still need him?
To me, he just died. He was alive in my mind this whole time. It was so sad.
When you hear a celebrity you died, and it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What about his American wife? Well, she's not American. She's over there now.
Yeah. But it's all doing the Russian roulette, and then to save Ava's life, that is when Snake takes the shot right to his eye. Is the implication that the bullet is in his skull then forever?
I thought it grazed it.
Yeah, I think it's it went across the front of the eye.
Oh my god!
He was doing a the end.
Because he just turned
push out, and then it zipped by it.
He's trying to catch it with his eyeball.
Okay.
Look at it.
Also, Ben, you said if you know anything about Metal Gear Solid, you're waiting for the eye patch thing.
Yeah.
Was that a thing at the time? Because there's no eye patch in Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2, is there?
This character, Naked Snake, has a eye patch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you knew at some point that it was gonna go out when the first trailers were popping up, which I'm trying to remember. I don't think they hit it. I don't think they secretly gave him an eye patch early on. So it was the cool thing of okay, first images he has his eyes. So clearly at some point this is gonna be a whole thing. But then hang on, I'm trying to find.
This is where I realized she was Eva. By the way, this late.
That's fine. You're safe. Don't worry about it.
That's embarrassing. No, I got absolutely roasted for that in the chat. They went, Haley, oh my god, which is the worst kind of I'm embarrassed.
Luke the Man writes in on Patreon. They say after Snake loses his eye, switching to first person view adds a subtle detail. Did you all notice this?
Yeah.
Part of the right side of the screen is darkened, reflecting his permanent damaged peripheral vision. It's a small touch that many players overlook. It is cool. It's the right level, just a little slow fade out. You've never noticed that, Kyle?
I don't think I have. No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's just a little fade out gradient on the one side of his eyes. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's cool.
But then you're in prison.
And then you just miss every shot.
That's how it works. His depth perception is way off. But you're in prison and clearly there's no way out. And it's a nightmare scenario for everybody. And you're trapped here forever. Matt Lowry writes in and says, how'd you all get out of prison?
Thanks to chat. I threw food until he pooped his pants to the extreme. And I got out. Yeah, he can shit his pants 4 times in a row, and then you get out by stealing a code from him.
I think I
saw the Sorrow had a code in the cutscene, and I just wrote that down, and then it just opened the doors.
It's oh my god! There's a lot of funny moments in Metal Gear Solid 3. I completely forgot that the funniest moment is Haley. Did you not see it? You probably missed this. There's an R1 option during the torture sequence. And if you hit it real quick, as you're being tortured, the Sorrow, the ghost man, is holding a piece, a sign with a codec number on it, as if it's like,
Yeah.
rah, rah, go Red Sox. And he's like, and he's like trying to like get around and show you this number. It is the silliest freaking cartoony thing.
I missed that.
Yeah.
And you gotta remember, this is before we have any idea who the Sorrow is, and the only other time I've seen him is when I referred to him as Emperor Palpatine on
Right,
the bridge at
right.
the start of the game. So I'm just like, who is this guy? This must be like the ghost of the boss. Just like, this is her good side trying to break out, and he's like, I'll help you,
That's an
Snake.
interesting
And then
thought.
and then later I'm like, I don't understand why this guy's, I don't know, brought me to hell.
Oh.
Or whatever happens later.
That's so funny.
But yeah, Matt Lowry points out, of course, that this big guy, if you feed him too much food to try and get out of the prison there, cutscene will play where he thanks Snake for the food, introduces himself as named Johnny, and says, I guess not all Americans are dogs. And he bonds with Snake about how war is dumb, and then shows him a picture of his family. On the back of the photo is a code that you can call to open the gate. It's a pretty wholesome scene overall.
Yeah.
What? So then
Snake's like,
then does
wouldn't it
he
be so
die?
cool if you just like let me out? And he's like, no. He's like, okay.
So you call the code and then he goes aggro on you?
Yeah, you have to kill Johnny. Don't
Aww.
you? No, wait, because people were saying, where did Johnny go?
Yeah, maybe does he run away? I don't know.
I think he runs away. I can't remember what I did to Johnny, but someone in chat said that he shows up like in another game.
His descendants do. There's always a Johnny going on. He's always pooping his pants. It's a very important thing.
That's like, yeah, when I woke up in the thing, chat said, feed Johnny. I said, what are you guys talking about? You need to be more clear. What's happening? So I immediately knew something silly was afoot.
I would never know the context, but I think going into this, the concept of Ben saying there's always a Johnny pooping his pants in Metal Gear Solid, I'd be like, that doesn't surprise me. That tracks.
It
That
is
matches
the most true thing.
identity I would go.
I was kind of almost upset they didn't actually have the like pooping sounds because he goes, "Oh no, here it comes!" and then there's deafening silence. Well, it's kind of like
Deafening silence.
because I want to hear him like struggle and poop, but like they just kind of don't say
That's
anything.
terrible.
Haley,
Haley.
sometimes-
But that's
so
the
gross.
humor of the time.
Oh, bro.
They would've-
Actually, that's true. No, that's
Right,
true. The
they would've
12-year-old
like-
boys would have gone crazy for that.
He's like, oh, and you would have been like 15 years old in junior high going,
Yeah, in Mrs. Carlson's
Loving
class,
it.
they would have never paid attention. They would just be talking about the poops.
No.
And
In junior high at 15. You should be in high school at that point.
okay, you're 12. Laughing at poop. Laughing at silly poopy.
So Haley,
I think I spun Snake around till he threw up, and then they came in there to check on me. And
oh, is that? Oh, I didn't even know that was an option. Oh, that's so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That's so
Oh,
good.
that's cool.
But chat was screaming at you, Haley, like, stop the game, save it, stop the game, put it back in.
Yeah. Everyone said, please, God, quit out and come back in. And then everyone chat was like, don't tell her. Everyone was really
So
chill
just-
about it. So I was like,
it's so
fine, I'll come
hyped
back
up.
in.
It's so
I knew
weird.
something insane was going to happen, but I didn't realize it was going to be this insane. This is like one of the coolest Easter eggs I've ever seen, for sure.
Yeah, Spencer Bertini wrote in about it. It is a little action game that is made by Platinum Games. But it's
so
all
Charles, this is you missed this. You haven't heard anything about this.
What are we talking about?
So you
There's a
can
secret
have a
game in
nightmare in this sequence, like where if you go to sleep and save your game.
Oh,
where-
here, this is what this is. Oh, I thought we were still
Yeah.
talking about the food thing. Okay.
No. And
No, we're
then
past the
basically you go play a completely different game for a few minutes that looks almost like Bloodborne, where you're like fighting vampires in a graveyard with like two swords.
It's on the screen right now. It's sick. Like, I want to play
That's
that
crazy.
game.
That's crazy.
yeah.
This was
So,
because
Is there like
when I
a
went to the-
prototype that's like a full version of the game or something somewhere? Or like any
So-
other? This is the.
in the original PlayStation 2 game, there was
Yeah.
a prototype that supposedly ended up becoming Zone of Enders. Was going to be Zone of Enders 3 is like the
Oh, really?
That's,
I didn't
but
know
I don't
that.
know how much weight to put in that. But it looks a bit different on PS2, and apparently Kojima was asked about this at the time in like 2004, 2005, and would pretend it didn't exist, and he wouldn't even like talk about
That's
it until
cute.
years later.
Guy
And then on
savage.
like the HD versions, it was not in there. And so like when I went to the review event, and like we all finished for the night, we were all like, having dinner and stuff, and all of us were like, are they going to do something with that? Is that going to be in the game? And none of us knew, and none of us got to it over the course of the review event. But I actually just happened to save there, and then I left, and then I booted up my save back home. And that was like the first thing I saw when I came back home. Like the timing was
perfect.
like perfect. I didn't even do it on purpose. But yeah, it's crazy that they went through all that trouble for that Easter egg.
Yeah, it
Awesome.
really seems cool. And like, especially because it's a Konami, it's like, okay, it does feel like this could be Platinum Games' pitch for like a 3D Castlevania or something in the graveyard. And the premise
That I
Charles,
didn't know until later. I didn't realize it was Platinum. That's crazy. I guess people saw it in the credits or something. It's probably how they figured it out.
Yeah. But the premise, in theory, in the world of Metal Gear is that when you save and you're shutting it down, Paramedic is talking about Dracula and how scary Dracula is. And that's why it's, in theory, Snake's
really
nightmare.
scared of Dracula, apparently.
Yeah. But it makes me laugh so much then because like when this whole sequence is over and Snake wakes up and he's back in the prison with his eye shot out and he's starving to death and he has his arm in a sling, he's like, ooh, thank God. Like he's relieved that he's no longer having a nightmare about vampires.
And everyone says that to him too. They're like, you're awake now. Just think about how much better you feel. I'm like, I'm in Russian prison. Just was tortured. I'm probably going to die. What are you talking about?
I'm one step above gulag.
This is also, I made reference to it earlier, but if you call Sigint here, you get the most insane codec conversation where he describes his own nightmare where he is in a poop tank and it's firing poop bullets and everything that it hits turns into poop. And it's just like, it is the weirdest, craziest thing. Charles, I actually sent you like a link to it, like a video we did at Game Inform showing this whole section off. And the Sigint call is in that video.
Okay.
You should take a look at that later.
That's crazy. I'm so shook.
He said with no emotion in his voice.
On a nightmare.
I can't believe Sokolov is dead.
You're still thinking about Sokolov.
People like the Fury fight. I'm just so
crazy. The world's upside down.
And it's crazy because it's the thing about this game is it's like I've got so much other stuff to do, but I'm kind of like, am I just gonna finish this game and then play this game again?
Ooh, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea.
Is that crazy? I don't know.
That's fun.
I am still amazed playing through this game again about like, the auto recovering health thing, just having the full stamina. It's like that is still so weird in Metal Gear just to have it like constantly ticking up and not be worrying about health in a big way in this game. If I just keep the full tummy rolling throughout all of this, everything's dandy, you know?
Yeah.
It's
no rations.
Yeah. Well, the rations just help your stamina even more as it's rolling through here. Do you think there's a theory that, all of the Cobra unit and how surreal they all are and stuff, that it's really just like Snake tripping on a tree frog or whatever?
It's been a dream the whole time thing.
Yeah.
It's all contextualized though. Like everyone tells you exactly how everything works. And then no, I don't think so.
I guess so. But then it's the big fugitive sequence. Are you guys hip with the fugitive?
No.
No.
Oh, so it's an old TV show, and then there's a Harrison Ford movie in the 90s, which rules.
There's a John Mulaney bit about the Harrison Ford movie that I could quote line for line.
Please.
That's about the whole thing.
The floor is yours.
he's just one thing where he's like, never mind.
Lock in for the impression.
Come on.
I'm not gonna. I was gonna do it. I was like, I can't do John Mulaney's impression of Harrison Ford right now. That's one impression too far. You go back. You do your thing. It's a stupid
There
thing.
you go. Anyways, where it's the whole thing where he gets cornered, there's nowhere to go. He's like, I didn't kill my wife in the film, but in this one, then it's just Ocelot cornering Snake, and then Snake deciding to jump into the water, and surely that would kill a man, but not naked Snake. Well, even though I guess it kind of does. It does kind of kill him, I guess. But not for long because it's naked Snake. But the thing it made me think of, it's just so funny to see like Ocelot and his animations in this game and how, he has so many of those movements that he has in the later games, right? It's always just this.
It's so anime.
But it is all coming from like the limitations of like the models on the PS1. Like he could not do that many subtle movements. And so they just need to keep like all of those rolling as they go back in time.
Act with his hands in Metal Gear Solid 1 because he just literally doesn't even have facial expressions.
Right. Yeah. You had to do it. And now we need to keep it faithful here. But also the other thing that I keep forgetting about is like 3 times throughout this game so far, they've done like comic book panel. Like the side by side, like black bar in the middle to show like Volgan and Ocelot or Ocelot and Snake. And I forgot that or like the close up of the eyes, I think before the fight is the first time that you see it, but it's used throughout the game just a couple times, but it's always really cool when it's in there.
That's very Max Payne.
Yeah. But Snake gets away. And of course, then he's going down river. And Haley, What'd you think of the big river sequence here?
Are we getting right to the Sorrow fight?
Right to the Sorrow, yeah.
Oh my god. Well, before I went into the big jump off area, I keep talking about chat, but that's how I experienced this game. Chat was like, "Can we check how many people you've killed?" And we all want to guess. We want to guess. They tried to make it into a game to trick me. They go, "Let's all guess." And they were like 200, 150. And I was like, okay, let's look like an idiot. And they were like, oh, wow, that's a high number. It was a lot of people because I was kind of just brute forcing through a lot of areas, not going to lie. It's like, they gave me an AK-47. I'm going to use an AK-47. What do you want from me? Why is it in the game if I can't use it? Leave me alone. And anyways, all to learn that if you're like me, this is the worst fight ever. And you just walk through the corpses of all the people you've killed.
Yeah.
The scientists were pretty damning. There was a lot of scientists. I could probably argue that the rest of them was self-defense, but every time a scientist came down, I was like, not gonna lie, I did you dirty. I'm sorry.
Thanks, like, my bad, dude. My bad. I'm sorry.
There was a lot
I'm really
of
focused on the mission.
Yeah, I killed a few of them just because they were looking at me funny or something. I was being pretty evil about it. Like I would interrogate them for info, and I know if I let them go, nothing bad would happen, and I'd still slit their throat.
Jesus Christ!
It's a game. But it's kind of fun that, like, it's kind of fun that I had a repercussion for that. I think that's pretty interesting. Of just like, hey, if you were a total ass during your playthrough, this is harder now. And if you were really stealthy and you played great, you get rewarded, and this is really easy. My partner came in and was watching over my shoulder, and he's platinum this, like he adores it. It's his game of the year so far, I think, this year. And he was like, Jesus Christ, I've never seen that many ghosts in the Sorrow.
I know. I've always been what's what I'm looking for? A tranquilizer to the head guy. Mm-hmm. So like I see a lot of animals in here, but like I never I maybe see like a handful of soldiers. The guys on the Akira like floating motorcycle things, like those guys are usually there because they're just hard to deal with. But
hi, we're hard to deal with. Remember us?
Wait, when are the floating motorcycle things?
Yeah, it's like the river
like in a river section.
Yeah, right before the
I think it's right after the pain.
Yeah.
You come out of the cave and there's like two of them. I just ran away from them.
Yeah, they fly out.
I probably just ran away. Yeah.
It makes me laugh. There's so many dead fish, and I'm like, I haven't killed one fish in this game.
Kill the fish.
Those aren't on me,
don't
dude.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I did not kill those fish. They just happened to be in the river. That's pollution. That was not me.
But yeah, Tom Blackburn says, has there ever been a more impactful consequence to going lethal than this boss fight? It is.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's such a fun idea.
I will say the fourth time through, I was starting to lose the charm, and I got taught the secret way to end it early. Because it's hard when you've killed a lot of men.
Yeah.
Wait,
so if there's a lot of men, like you just can't get past them and then they do damage to you?
Yeah, they grab you, and then it's easier for him. They do damage to you, and also it's easier for him to shoot you with his ghost nukes or whatever the hell he uses.
Okay.
And I was dying over and over.
But when you die that you have to use the revival pill, correct?
Yes.
And I didn't know that, Kyle.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine. This is actually something for me, like long term. Like I somehow had that fully spoiled for me on the PlayStation 2. I don't remember why. I feel like I read about it in Electronic Gaming Monthly or something, and I was always bitter about it because and I still am to this day, because it seems like such a cool, interesting idea that I wish I could have like achieved on my own, but I never got to. You know.
Well, it's weird in Delta because it's like the inventory is on the left and right on the D-pad, you know, instead of being on L1 and R1, and so left and right on the D-pad is the option when you die to like continue or exit. You know, where I'm trying to remember, like in the original, could you pop up the L1 or R1 menu? I guess it'd be the L1 menu quicker then, or you always need to wait a little bit for it. But I definitely remember being stuck here for a long time. The first time I played this game, it's a confusing, weird thing, but fun.
If he kills you, Haley, can you use the revival pill then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to like it's not clear that you can bring up that menu. You have to press the button to bring it up, and then you can take the pill. But what confused me logically about that, and maybe someone can clarify, but like I thought that pill only works if I took the death pill, not just like if I die.
But you are dead right now is the idea. You're in the afterlife.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't quite. I just thought that ghosts were real. I guess
they're only real in some situations.
Can you imagine? Yeah, that's a crazy thing to do in the context of this game. Ghosts are real. No, I remember I think I tried to pull it up, and maybe you have to wait longer to summon the revival pill menu, and that was my thing. Because I did this like 5 times, and
It's
then looked it up,
annoying.
and they're like, "Oh, you have to get to the end and then use it."
Okay,
So I
that's what I
got
thought. You had to get to the end.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
because
I
Justin
drowned
P.
myself.
Yeah, Justin P. points out that you can drown yourself immediately.
Okay.
And it still works perfectly
Okay.
fine in Delta, and then you can just revive
This is
yourself.
what
from
that's
there.
why I was confused. I'm like, if I'm drowning, I don't just go, yay, I have breath
Yeah.
in my lungs. Like
Do the
that
ghosts-
doesn't logically make sense.
If the ghosts kill you, does it not work?
Yeah, I think anytime you're dead, I think
didn't try that.
you can,
Okay,
you
yeah.
can pop it back.
Yeah, and then I had thought I figured out how to get out of it. I was like, oh, this is a revival pill thing, but then you can't use the fake death pill. So then I assumed the revival pill wouldn't work, and it was only eventually like it does. If you do it 3 or 4 times, it like in Delta, it just pops up on your screen. It's like, by the way, the revival pill's here if you press left on the D-pad. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is when I do it. So
I must have done it one more before that showed up then.
Yeah, Mark Garcia wrote in with the same thing where he's like, he was completely stumped about how to do it back in the day. And then one night, right as the death screen appeared, my mother called me to the dinner table. I left my console running, and when I returned, the revival pill was predominantly displayed in the left corner.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the
Total
best. I
little
like
poke
stories
there.
like
That's
that.
good.
I love
this whole sequence I love. Yeah.
it's so cool. And I love just how over the top the ghost sounds are. They're literally doing like Disney ghost sounds. Like, whoa! It's just,
Grim grinning ghost.
don't say it, Haley. I'm getting scared with you even singing
I'm
that
really
song.
scared of that.
But I love the sorrow. I love what he says. He says, "Make no mistake, the dead are not silent." And then he goes, "Death is tragic, but life is miserable." And then he's just a sorrowful guy. But then he also says,
I wonder where he gets his name from.
he's like damning Naked Snake, and he's like, "You and your sons and your sons' sons," which I forgot that he like mentioned. There's his son's sons. There's
He
such a-
knows the future.
yeah, such a cool idea. And then you pop the little revival pill, and then, well, bam, you're good to go.
Could you get to the end of this? Like if you just avoid everything and get to the final.
just
So
eventually
if you get to the end,
kills
you
him,
just
basically.
die. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you see
The
you
finish
see his
line
body.
basically kills you, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is when I
Oh.
use the revival pill.
Right. Oh yeah, Chad. Thank you for
Okay.
pointing out. Yeah, if you do the codec call during this section, it's just everybody screaming "Snake, snake!" like you are dead.
Yeah.
That's such a
I
cool
tried
idea.
codec call to
Oh.
figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Like with
when
Nathan
we were-
Drake.
Yeah.
When we
They pull
were
a drink.
figuring out how to bring back Game Informer, how to publicly announce, one of the ideas we've batted around was like, what if we all shared like 1-up mushrooms or things like that, you know, like references to video game things being revived, you know, and that was like our tease for Game Informer. And I was like, Metal Gear Solid 3 Revival Pill, that is mine, dibs, you know, and that was the reason I was playing the game on Steam Deck, is because I wanted to get capture footage of that whole sequence. I wanted to be able to like, as a tease, like just share that sequence of like Snake using the revival pill, which was, it ended up working out because then I like had recently played Metal Gear Solid 3.
And how's
It was
that?
funny
We're
because
playing
Kyle
both of
did call dibs on that, and I was like, I don't think anyone else is. I think that was your specific
Marcus
thing, Kyle.
Marcus Stewart was like, oh damn it, that's a good idea. So I had
Oh,
Marcus,
okay.
Marcus knew about it.
I was gonna use using a max revive in Pokemon was gonna be
Yeah,
my
see,
plan.
Oh, that's
That's
a good
good.
one.
Just
That's
that's
good.
on paper.
So you're coming back better than ever is the implication there. That's
We're all coming back in this with full health. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah, but then you find the corpse of the sorrow at the end of this, and you learn that that is where the Joy, otherwise known as the boss, had to kill him on a previous mission. And that the sorrow had ESP, and he could talk to ghosts, and they say he could find out what was happening in a battle by talking to the dead. Such a sweet idea.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Don't go over there. I just got killed over there.
Actually, they should be busy.
That's all they could really tell you, I guess.
Well, I think they would just be busy like screaming, like, I'm this now, what's happening? But he's like, okay, just tell me.
My wife.
Which lane should I
Maybe
go
they'd
in?
say the money's in a vent underneath. They're not going to be like, okay, here's how you kill the guy who killed me.
Right,
They'd want to
right.
be like a last will.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna say there's a room full of guys screaming, and then they stop screaming. The Sorrow's like, I think people in there have died. What a
How do
useful
you know
guy.
that? You think it'd make it harder a little bit because now you're on a battlefield with thousands of people. Halfway through, 500 of them are absolutely screaming, "Oh God, I'm in hell! Help me, God!"
Right. Because they're probably
What's happening?
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I like when
What
he
did
talks
you
to.
say? You were gonna say something.
I don't know. I was gonna riff on your idea of them all being in hell, which I think is funny, but I think I do too much hell heaven stuff. We get a lot of MinnMax show Apple podcast reviews saying "cool it with the hell and heaven talk." Anyways,
What about outer heaven? Is that okay?
yeah, not enough outer heaven. Ooh, outer hell. Anyways, Ava, you can when you talk to Ava at the end of this, Snake tells her, "I took a freaky detour," which is the funniest phrase for what happened here. And he's so chill about it. And then like Ava's like, "Oh, you jumped from way up there? You're out of control, Snake." Like it's like some wild kid doing like, wheelies on a motorcycle.
You're hot. I like that.
I bet your mouth, your wild beast of a mouth filled
I
with
bet your
glitter.
mouth
shirt
tastes
on too,
even
didn't you?
worse.
Let's take a freaky detour.
Just unzips her jumpsuit again for the millionth time.
Yeah, how about now?
How about now? She says. But there we go. Then you're done. That's all the Cobra unit taken care of for this whole section of the gosh darn game. How you feeling, Haley and Charles?
I bet there's
Are
going to be some
you
more
eager to
twists
get
and
back to it,
turns.
Haley? Like, do you?
I
miss
am
it?
actually. Yeah, I
Cool.
do miss
That's good.
it. When we had to delay this a week because it was my fault. I was like, I want to keep playing this. I want to like finish the section, and I think the last section is quite short, right? Like it's only
It's
a few
short.
hours.
Yeah.
This was. I mean, it. Yeah.
Oh, no, Kyle. It's like 20 hours, Haley. You should probably make sure you get it done right away.
Tell me how many Ben hours it is, and I'll add 2 hours to that.
Okay.
I think that's a fair assessment, right?
It's probably going to be 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely like
Okay.
the middle was definitely like we made it a big chunk because there's going to be a lot of talk about with the end. So
Yeah,
we wanna-
not confusingly, not the end.
Yes,
Too
the
soon
conclusion.
is what chat says.
I almost messaged the Deepest
Okay.
Dive Slack channel. I was like, guys, I just beat the end of the game. And I was like, I'm going to be so funny. I'm going to be the first person that made that joke in 20 years.
I got to the end.
I got to the end, you guys. And then he died.
And then Ben would get mad and be like, "Why'd you
then
ruin
he
this?"
died.
And then I
yeah.
thought it was a joke.
I like the game more. The Fury obviously was like a down part for me. And then the sorrow also. So when I fought the end, it was the point where I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of. This is a reference only Haley will get maybe, but Haley, there's a clip that was in one of the MinnMax highlights videos of you playing Hitman with Leo, and you're stealthing around in a bathroom, and then you're like, oh, you're in the bathroom, and you're like, oh, you just stand up really quick, and you're like, oh, I can just stand up the whole time. That's how I felt fighting the end, where I was like, oh, I can rely. I don't need to stealth this hard. I can just like kind of go whole time. With the Fury and sorrow, those were both instances where I was like, I didn't exist in that prior place first. I was just in the past, like, I'm trying to see the matrix of this. I don't like it and I want to get out of it. Mm-hmm. I really like all of the stealthy parts. I like when I have full control of the game. Also, the sorrow to me comes at a really weird time narratively, where it's like the height of, the conflict, and Snakes jumps off and maybe he's dead, maybe he's not dead. And then we like kind of introduce a new character and like a new mechanic for no reason. Like to me, it was, it just feels weird, but
sure.
I'm excited to see how it ends because we have gotten rid of a lot of these like side characters that we didn't know all that much about, that we didn't spend as much time on, and I'm looking forward to boss fights with characters that are like more final, that it's like I know who these people are, I'm going to be emotionally invested. And yeah.
Do you have predictions? I know we talked about it a little bit last time, but predictions on what's going to be happening here in the grand finale?
I still don't know what the deal with the boss is. I still can't decide if she's gonna be like, I was on Snake's side the whole time, then Volgin kills her, and then the final fight is against Volgin, or if she's like, because I don't really know why she defected. So I don't know what her justification for that is, that she would like leave everyone and everything behind. But at the same time, it feels like she's kind of been helping Snake subtly the whole, like she hasn't killed him 2 or 3 separate times. It's like, no, we don't need to worry about him, and I'll just send all these other guys towards him. And I don't know what's going to happen to Ocelot. His pants are going to fall down. He's going to cry, and then he's going to leave, and he'll be in later games later. That's my prediction.
Even cooler.
That's my prediction for the end of the game, is that Ocelot's going to cry before credits roll.
I mean, Charles, I will say you talking through this stuff genuinely gave me goosebumps thinking about like the end of the game. And I'm not going to say which component of what you just said gave me goosebumps. So you'll have to find out the next chunk.
I think everyone is a spy except for Vulcan, and then we'll all fight Vulcan together. I haven't been. The fact that you laughed so hard makes
No, never mind. I shouldn't have left.
That's just a random guess. I don't know.
I do want to go back though. It was way earlier. We were talking about Adam and Eva, and I totally forgot that Adam was a thing.
Yeah,
and
I think
Haley,
Ocelot's
like,
Adam.
Oh, Ocelot's Adam. But that's crazy, right? Because he's been trying to kill everyone all the time.
But
Isn't
maybe
he supposed to be helping you?
He's just really undercover, and he's really good at his job.
He's really good at it.
That's why he doesn't just shoot. He does stupid tricks, but actually knows what the bull's going to shoot.
The amount of Russian
captured.
Oh, that makes it cooler.
You can find
the
the
amount
video.
of Russian roulette this guy does with really important people is like one like risky, and then also like just shoot him, man. I don't know. You have a very efficient weapon, and you're using it in the most inefficient way possible.
There's also so few characters left that are prominent. That who could be Adam? There's two men left, so it's Vulcan or Ocelot, and so I mean that's got to be one of them.
Maybe Ocelot's wearing a mask, and it's actually someone else.
I have to grab his balls to know. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way to know.
That's the only way.
Ocelot's like, if I grope people first, no one will ever think to grope me.
That's the thing. He's always so suspect of everyone else. You never suspect him. That's the real thing.
Sure.
That's pretty interesting. I also like your point of like the boss said at the very start, like, I don't care about countries. I just care about the mission. And maybe the mission was just protect you this whole time. And that'll be the nice twist.
Sure. That makes sense to me, because that's like I don't know, the whole care more about the mission than the countries was bizarre to me, because I was like, well, the countries give you the mission, but if it's a separate mission than the countries.
But she also keeps taking apart your gun and going, go home.
Yeah.
So I think maybe she also just wants you gone so she can do something she's trying to do, which is probably stop nukes from happening, because Kojima likes that.
So yeah, okay, now that we're talking it out, I think this is my final theory. I think the boss is Adam. Whoa, gender bent. Crazy thing. Because she seems to be on your side more than any of the other characters.
That's a boy's name, Charles. I'm confused.
That's why it's so secret. And I don't know if the mission is Snake specific, or like, I don't know if she's like a triple agent that's like, I don't know, so anti-nukes. Like the Russians are making nukes, so if I defect, then the Americans will have to. But she could just do it herself if she was trying to stop it. I don't know. She
also gives Vulcan him a nuke like the first time we see her.
That's true.
She's like, here's a present, a nuke.
She's not really helping her case. I don't know. She's definitely the character I'm most interested to see.
Yeah. She's the coolest character in the whole game.
Yeah. I do think Eva's honestly,
I think Eva's gonna die.
I almost said I hope Eva dies. I don't think I hope Eva dies.
I'm really hoping Eva dies.
I kind of think Eva's over-sexualization, it's almost so bad that it doesn't make up for the boss so far. Like, in terms of, like, he's, in terms of Kojima feminist points, maybe by the end of the game, it'll round out for me, but R1 to boob is hard to forgive.
Yeah. Drake H defends R1 to boob. No, they say, I find it fascinating that we only learned who the voice actress for Ava was in 2024. This is true. When he was finally revealed to be Jodie Benson.
The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
Oh, that's right. That was a weird... Kyle, I feel like I remember you writing a story about that or something, or that was just a significant thing.
All right, I just thought it was like a known thing, but I guess they only shared it recently. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was like theorized, but it wasn't confirmed.
Yes, she said in some interview she talked about, like, you know, she'd be at signings and people would bring up a copy of Metal Gear Solid 3 for her to sign, and she's like, I wasn't in this game, and they're like, yeah, all right, buddy. I listened to Ava's voice, and I heard when I pressed R1, and then you said, look at this stuff. Isn't it
Aren't
neat?
they neat?
Was it like a what's the word? SAG-AFTRA thing?
No,
like
she said, Drake H says, for those unfamiliar, she was voiced Little Mermaid and was worried that the mature and sexual tone of the character, is she sexualized in this game? Would hurt her future career opportunities, apparently.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's her choice. Interesting.
Yeah.
But she did get
So
to play
she
Barbie
still
in Toy
took that
Story.
dirty check, Jodie Benson. You still took that dirty sexualized check. I'm just kidding. She's fine.
Blood money! Naka1227 says, "Hey, Benedict."
That always gets me when I say something, you just scream at me. That always makes me laugh.
I guess that's the rhythm. Saying, let's see, I've been playing the subsistence version on PS2, which as I wrestled with the controls, discovered that the PS2 has pressure-sensitive face buttons. So to shoot in that version, you must release square quickly, and to put your gun down after you aim, you must gently let go of the button. This aspect of the controls were really frustrating to understand at first, but I kept grabbing enemy soldiers to interrogate them, only to have Snake brutally cut open their throats because I held on the circle button too strongly. So far, I can see why Kojima was a visionary in his day. Yeah. A lot of people are writing in, some people, at least Kyle, are writing in who are playing it for the first time, like JG at least. They said they played through, they're 16 years old. They started a playthrough of the entire series when they were 16 years old. And so they're going through it, and they say that they thought it was going to feel antiquated, but it feels electric and refreshing, this entire series, which I love that idea of like a 17-year-old playing through this game.
That's who it's for.
Hell yeah. Austin writes in with the most important thing ever, saying, breaking news. It seems like the It's Raining Blood bridge scene from the first episode may have featured literal blood rain in the original PS2 version. The HD remaster didn't emulate it correctly. Mandela effect much? Kojima, you've done it again. I went back, I'm sure this is correct, but I went back and looked at least on YouTube of the PS2 version, and I don't see red blood there.
I saw that comment, and I could not find a proper PlayStation 2 like Let's Play. It was all like the HD version.
Oh,
like,
I found one. Search PS2, Kyle. That's kind of the key part, I think.
Well, I know how to search things.
Wawa writes in, and they say, Snake Eater is a playable song in Karaoke Revolution 3. I loved singing to it when I was younger. Also, in the opening title sequence, you guys didn't mention it, but you can press RB or R1 to hear someone whisper, Snake Eater. And moving and clicking the analog sticks also has a cool effect too, like making little icons appear. Yeah, so the entire intro sequence is interactive, which we didn't mention, which is
You can turn the main menus to nighttime and daytime too.
Yeah. Yep,
I did that.
It looks very cool for sure. Michael M writes in saying, one of my favorite codec conversations happens if you call Sigint while sitting in a cardboard box. Snake goes off about how the box has given him inner peace and he's found the key to true happiness. He then invites Sigint to come inside the box to see what he means, and it freaks him out.
That's so great.
I think I did that one.
That's good. Rapatica says, since it was announced, I felt Death Stranding 2's subtitle On the Beach was a bit goofy. Well, when Paramedic asked me if I'd ever seen the movie called On the Beach, it added some useful context to why that game was called that. That was very fun. Drosum says, trying to get all the Gakko and frogs in one go. I remember the frogs locations pretty well from the original, but the Gakko ducks sometimes are impossible to see. During the end fight, though, I realized the directional mic will pick up their sound briefly when you point in their direction. I don't remember if that was part of the original, but it's super helpful for trying to find all these things.
They make like a quack or a frog sound.
Yeah, and those are added for this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it doesn't fully count. But hey, that is it, I believe, for community comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for going over to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. I guarantee you, if you're a Metal Gear fan, there were at least 3 instances during this discussion where you said, I can't believe they're not talking about this. Oh, they got this thing wrong. Absolutely. Correct us. I dare you, you coward. Go to patreon.com/MinnMax.
It just helps us.
It helps us. Shh, don't tell them that. But you can go there.
Don't you do that. I'd hate it.
And you can submit a comment for our next discussion where we'll read it, because next week we are covering the end of the game. We finally get to talk about the ending of Metal Gear Solid 3/Delta with this full crew. So this coming Friday, on the 19th of September, we'll have a post up on Patreon looking for your comments through the end of the game, and then we'll be recording on Monday the 22nd, and then it'll be up on YouTube and the bonus podcast feed if you're a Patreon supporter on the 23rd of September. So jump in now. If you've enjoyed this discussion, you want to help support discussions like this, Game Club formats, you can jump in, unlock the podcast version, submit a comment, and get a Steam code for Haunty as well. Talk about a win-win-win-win-win-win-win.
I have one more detail about the game.
Oh, yeah, please.
I did look up just now. I was curious because Kojima has all the things with the guns being super specific. And the gun that Eva uses is a booby gun.
What? It's shaped of a boob?
Is this a bit?
That's a bit. It was a BB gun. It was a callback to my BB gun joke. It was a booby gun. Wow.
I was.
Good work.
We'll talk about it next episode. I thought you were going another direction entirely.
I'm sorry, Charles. I was thinking too much about
No,
guns
no,
and
that's
not enough
okay.
about boobs.
I was trying
That's
to sell.
my
I was
fault.
Classic
trying to
snake
sell
problem.
the setup so hard that you guys were trying to listen to me earnestly.
It's all good.
I pulled a snake there, and I was like, "What are boobs? I like guns."
Sigint. What's a booby? All right, everybody. We'll be back next week for the grand finale of The Deepest Dive at Metal Gear Solid Delta. Greatly appreciate it, Charles Hart. Well done. Anything you want to plug over at Game Informer?
Go to Game Informer. It's been a few weeks now, but I edited a Rapid Fire. It's my first Rapid Fire I started and edited. That was fun and cool.
Cool.
And also you can go GameInformer.com/subscribe and subscribe to our magazine. And that's really helpful and helps us keep our jobs.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll be back next week. To capitalism. Did you know that you can double the amount of MinnMax podcasts you listen to every single week right in your favorite podcast app? All you have to do is go to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's, jump in at that $5 tier, and then you're good to go. You have the podcast version of The Deepest Dive, Max Spoilers, MinnMax interviews, weekly access to Bonus Pod, which is our Patreon exclusive podcast. It's very good. And early and ad-free versions of the MinnMax Show podcast every single week. There's a ton of content in there, and it's a way to directly support what we do here at MinnMax.